Good evening, good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you can hear me. Okay, we got good fruit tree in the building. Good evening, good fruit tree. How are you doing? Uh, if you can hear me, good. Would someone mind? Would someone please put a one in the chat? We'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully, everything is the audio and everything is working correctly. A best. Thank you for checking in. Thank you for joining in. Again, if the audio is good, but would someone be kind enough to put a one in the chat? All right, thank you, A Best. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. I know I'm running just a few minutes late. I apologize for that. We're going to go ahead and get started on tonight's YouTube Live. I am your host. My name is Okoye Amos, and thank you for tuning in to Elderly Advice 100 YouTube Live. I do this on Monday evenings and Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Talk about anything that you want to talk about. I mean, several things we're going to talk about tonight. Number one, I've gotten a lot of emails since the last broadcast, the last YouTube Live in reference to internet dating. So, internet dating is going to be the topic tonight that we're going to talk about. You know, the pros and cons of internet dating. Is it for you? Is it not for you? Your experiences. Maybe you have some good experiences. Maybe you've had some bad experiences. Maybe you are thinking about delving into internet dating. And those this is what we're going to talk about tonight. Of course, I mean we all live in a world where social media is dominating us. Of course, we the news of Kevin Samuels passing. I think that was Thursday, uh, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody would like to comment on that, please feel free to do that. To be honest with you, I don't know all the details. Details, in my estimation, are sketchy at best. So uh, I don't know, again, all the details. Maybe some of you may know more things than others, but uh, since I don't know all the details, I'm not going to comment on the things that transpired because again I just don't know. But if anyone has any questions or comments, you want to talk about his content, things of that nature, you agree or disagree with some of the things that he said, that's fine as well. So, internet dating. We're going to talk about that. Somebody said, "Good evening from Texas." Thank you for tuning in. Let me go through the lineup real quick. Once again, we got Good Fruit. We got A Best. I'm sorry, A Good Fruit Tree. I love that name. We got Ann Bradford. We got Renee in the house. We got LVN CSR. Good evening from Dallas. I'm sorry, from Texas. I think, let me see, LVN CSR. I think you're the lady from Fort Worth, if I remember correctly. I think we spoke. Uh, I think you talked about getting ready to relocate outside of the United States. If my memory serves me correctly, I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. Let's see. We got a comment. Let me see. Hold on for 1 second. Let me pull this up. Somebody says, "What are your thoughts on Kevin Samuel's viewpoint?" Uh, I didn't watch all of his content. Uh, I'm just going to comment on some of the things that I did see that I had a disagreement with, uh, and that was when he talked about high value men are in a position. Well, no, okay, I'm paraphrasing, so let me back up for a minute. If a lady wants to get with a high value man, then she should sleep with him within a very fast time frame. And that was one of the talking points that I definitely disagree with, because number one, it's coming from a male's perspective, and when it comes from a male's perspective in that manner, of course, it's going to come out in a manner in which benefits us. See, men, we're going to put things, or we're going to word things in a way that's going to benefit us. And if a lady thinks that, if she thinks that in order to gain a high value man, first of all, let's talk about what a high value man is. In today's world, my definition of a high value man is a man who basically well educated, makes a good living, makes a good salary, but at the same time, no matter what that man does for a living, that's it. It stops right there. That's what he does for a living. In other words, he could be a corporate attorney, but that's what he does for a living. When he comes home, he's still a man. He still has a flesh. He still has desires. He still will lie to you. He still will cheat on you. He still will, in some instances, commit domestic violence. I worked in the television news industry a long time. And one of the things that, if anybody has ever worked in the television news industry, we have in the newsroom what's called a desk. And on that desk, you have a lot of times a position that's called an assignments editor, or they may get an intern, or they may get someone to sit at that desk. And their particular job, one specific job is they sit there and they listen to a scanner. They listen to a city police scanner. They listen to a state police scanner. And they listen to a EMS scanner. Now, many nights or many days, I would walk by and I would hear what we call traffic being disseminated on the scanner. So a lot of times you would hear a domestic violence call. And anytime it's a domestic violence call over the scanner, you're always going to hear the address. So never forget, we had one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best journalists I ever worked with was a man by the name of George Sells, Sells. And George Sells was the master of, when a domestic violence call or any call that came over the scanner, when he heard the address, he would look it up. And people, you would be surprised how many times when we looked those addresses up where that domestic violence was coming from, it was coming from a particular address in upscale subdivisions. Now, of course, I live in a very, very small town, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm not going to call any names, but there were so many addresses that were attributed to judges, doctors, lawyers. So what are you saying? I'm saying the calls were coming from the ladies, the wives who lived at those addresses, and the judges were beating their wives. Judges, district court judges, federal judges, appellate court judges, lawyers beating their wives, CPAs, it didn't matter. So going back to what I'm saying, ladies, if you're getting caught up in that high value man thing, trust me, that doesn't mean that he won't cheat on you. That does not mean he will not beat you for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. That does not mean that he's going to respect you. That just means that's what that man does for a living. That's all that means. So again, so many times we would hear a certain address and we already knew that's Judge blank blank jumping on his wife again. Come across the scanner. So again, when men are throwing this thing out, if you want a high value man, you got to sleep with him you got to give him sex within a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or else you're going to lose him. That's just game, and that's one of the things that I disagreed. Now, but again, I didn't listen to all of his content, so I'm not at liberty to comment on a lot of things because I didn't listen to all of his content. But that was just one thing that stood out to me because, as a man, I know how we think. See, as men, if we're trying to get something, if we're trying to get sex from you, or we're trying to get money from you, or we're trying to get whatever from you, we're going to try and wrap it up in this blanket where we present it as if you need to do this for us because we're up here, men are up here, and you're down here. So that thing will work, ladies, if you don't understand your self-worth, if you don't understand your female leverage, and if you don't understand game. See, when we talk about game, any game that's out there has to have someone who, number one, devised the game. He or she had to come up with the game, and then he or she had to come up with rules that's going to benefit them to what? Win. So again, you talking about, and then what I don't like is I don't like men who don't practice what they preach, because I guarantee you, if a man is telling a lady that, okay, I'm a high value man, I make, $300,000 a year, whatever he does for a living. I got an MBA from Harvard University. Okay. If he's throwing all those attributes at her and saying, okay, if you don't sleep with me within 3 weeks, well, you're losing out. Somebody else is going to do it. All that is, that's just game at its finest. And if you don't understand, ladies, that that's just a man trying to position himself to put him on this level, because it's all psychological. That's all it is. It's all psychological. So what happens in a lot of instances? Okay, a lady may meet a man who she considers high value. He may throw that scenario at her. Listen, I'm a CEO for Boeing or Microsoft. I got women at my beck and call. What you want to do? What are you going to do? You're going to sleep with me, and I just met you within 6 days, and then so the lady the female may be looking at that and saying, wow, what should I do? And sometimes she may give in and sleep with him, but again, he's still a man underneath all of that. So what am I saying? After sex is over, he look at you and say, I lost all respect for you. I don't even respect you anymore. Now, he may not say that, because men, we don't say those type of things, but those are the type of things that go through our minds. So you got to be very, very, very careful, ladies, on this rhetoric that's being spread out here. I've talked to so many women over the course of, I'll say, the past 3 weeks, where some of this rhetoric, where we talk about high value men, where they're talking about men going their own way, where there's so much rhetoric saying that a single woman with kids is undesirable. No man wants. I've talked to so many women over the past few weeks that are so damaged, just damaged. It's like they listen to that content and they believe it. They believe that sex needs to happen off the bat because he's a high value man. He got his MBA from, wherever, from the Wharton School of Business or wherever. And so all it is men just leveraging their accolades or whatnot to get what they want, sex. And then after sex, like I said, the real man comes out then. So that was one of the things, again, just to answer that question about his talking points. That was one of the things that I did not agree with, definitely did not agree with, because if you're disseminating that, if you're spreading that as a man, what I ask ladies to do is, okay, ask that same man who says that you need to sleep with a high value man within, 5 days, a week, 2 weeks. Ask that same man, what would he do if he were a woman? See, ask that same man, what would he do if he were a man or a woman? I'm sorry, if he were a woman, would he sleep with a man within, a short time frame? Guarantee he's going to say no. But since so many ladies are hesitant to ask a man a question like that, then you're going to continue to have men who are going to continue to spew this type of rhetoric out there. And like I said, it's so many ladies that I have been talking to over the past few weeks that have basically taken this literally hook, line, and sinker that life is doom and gloom. Well, I'll never find a man. Yes, you will. You got to stop listening to that BS, first of all. And you got to know who you are. You have to know your self-worth. You can't fall for that stuff. Because if you're a lady and you're falling for that, men are just going to run through you. We're just going to run through you. Sex, 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 sex. Pass you off to the next man. Sex, 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 sex. Pass you off to the next man. It's going to be a continuing revolving door until you jam on the brakes and say, no, you're not going to do me like that. No, it's not going to happen. Now, that same high value man, guess what? You could train him or you can vet him to get on your program. That same high value man. Why? Because once again, that's what he does for a living. A high value man will fall in love just like any other man, just like a man who makes minimum wage. A high value man will respect you and honor you and cherish you just like a man making a minimum wage. And so if you're putting all this emphasis on what a man does for a living, to me, you're in for a really long ride. If a man makes a minimum wage, or if he's considered an upscale, high value man, his income, he has disposable income, he has a lot of income coming in, they're still a man. It's no difference. They both will cheat on you. They both have the propensity to cheat on you. They both have the propensity to commit domestic violence. They both have the propensity to disrespect you. So we got to start, ladies. You got to stop. You got to stop looking at a man, judging a man by what he does for a living as being a good catch. Because there's some men who make they have some great jobs, they have a lot of income, but they are miserable inside. And like I said earlier, they'll cheat, they'll beat you, they won't commit to you, they'll spend money on you, but they also spend the money on other ladies. And so you got to be aware of some of these things. Like I said earlier, it's just, stop going for that rhetoric. All right. Let's get to some of these comments. Don't forget, phone lines are open. 225-397-6922. Somebody said RIP kids. Good Fruits, internet dating takes the wisdom of God and it's needs discernment. Yes, that is true. Lady Ray said yes. conflicting advice out there. Some men will say you need to give it up or another woman will. And there's others that say you need to remain virtuous. Yes. See, going back to what Lady Ray said, a man will tell you that you need to have sex with him as quickly as possible. If a man tells you that, who is that benefiting? The man or the woman? It's benefiting the man. So why would he say that? Because it's benefiting him. Men will take sex or want sex as quickly as possible. And if you don't understand that and you fall for that and you fall for that game, then you just have to do better. And you have to be able to say, nope, no, I'm not going to do that. Because the quicker men get sex from a lady, number one, sex happens. Guess what? Respect, wherever the respect level was, is going to drop. In other words, don't think in most instances you're going to go home and meet mother one day, or you're going to be invited back to his family for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and you're going to meet the family. 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen. Why? Because in his mind, okay, it's just a sexual thing. It's just a roll in the hay. We're F buddies, or we're going to be friends with benefits. So, again, ladies, you got to be able to discern between this rhetoric, what I just call game, because to me, that's all it is. What is game? Like I said earlier, someone has to come up with the game, then someone has to institute rules that benefit them to what? To win. So now you got ladies who think that a high value man is the prize. That a high value man is the prize. So a prize has to have what? A competition to win. So now I'm seeing women competing for men. My goodness. And in my estimation, it should be the other way around. Men should be competing for ladies. But hey. All right. A-Best says, is that a high value man or a man with high net worth who is highly sought after? See, and that's where I think the ambiguity is coming in at. Because, people are saying high value man, but as A-Best said, it's just a man with a high net worth. But no matter what, okay, I give you elderly advice. Some of you ladies who are younger than me, you could be my daughter or whatnot. Let me just give you some fatherly advice, right, real quick. Okay. You meet a high value man, he makes him a lot of money, he has a lot of disposable income. This is just fatherly advice. Guess what? It's his money. It's his money. What does that mean? It's his money. It's not yours. He's going to do what the hell he wants with it. So what does that mean? You better have yours. Because if he wakes up one morning and say, oh, this thing is over with, guess what? He's going to roll out the door. He's going to burn rubber on you. Now, that's just some fatherly advice to some of the young ladies. He plays for the NBA. He just got, that's his money. He just got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. That's his money. Going down a long road. If you think just because you got with a man and he's got a lot of money or whatnot, that his money somehow is going to transcend over to being your money, maybe. Could. But don't depend on it. That's all I'm trying to get you to see. Because like I said, men are fickle. One day we're one way, one day we're like, I met somebody else. I'm moving on. Just like that, out the blue. It's over. Well, I thought we were in a relationship. Well, you thought wrong. I'm gone. Well, what about this condominium we got together? You deal with it. What about you deal with it? I'm out of here. And that's why so many times, ladies, you're getting caught up in these relationships. The guy changes his mind. He gets out of the relationship. Guess what? You don't have nothing on paper. You're not married. You were doing wifely things, but guess what? Nothing is on paper. So you get nothing. All that sex you were having with him, all that kinky sex, all that other stuff, all the equity, the time that you put into that relationship, and the man just wakes up one day and said, I'm out of here. It's over with. And you want to sit in your bed and want to keep the curtains closed all morning. Don't want your girlfriends to come see you. You lost your appetite. You're losing weight. You're depressed. Don't want to talk on the phone. Go in that bathroom, take a cold shower, wake up, bump your head, prepare yourself, prepare your face or whatnot, and just chalk that up to experience. Just say no more. It's not going to happen to me again. All right. Somebody said, who is this? Good fruit tree, high value God. There you go. Low value man. Let God lift it up. Trust God, not man. That is excellent advice. Excellent advice. I could not agree more. A Best said, say it again for the people in the back. It's his money. Yes, ma'am, it's his money. So again, that's just fatherly advice. I know this show is elderly advice, but some of you ladies, you may be in your 20s, mid-30s, you got to understand. Just because you meet him and he makes X amount of dollars, that's his money. No, indeed. Men, we will change our mind so quick and say no, and we'll cut you off like you never existed. Pretty sure you ladies have friends who have experienced those things. That's why, once again, you got to be careful about some of this rhetoric, because I talked to too many ladies, especially this last week, that were so depressed over the things that they're hearing on the internet, and they've taken that to face value that it's going to happen to them. In other words, a single mother, I'm not going to meet a man. Why? Because XYZ said it on the internet. My goodness. So you taking XYZ word over, he or she has that much control over the outcome of your life? Well, one lady was talking about the pressure she feels to have sex with this man because, once again, he makes a lot of money. My advice to her was, don't do it. And it seems like the more I was telling her don't do it, it seems like the more that sometimes you can talk to people and it seems like their voice is kind of getting to a point where they hear what you're saying, but she kept saying but. So I heard so many buts, it leads me to believe that eventually she's going to give in. But who does that benefit? It benefits the man. What do I always talk about? Men, we have a natural instinct to dominate. Men, we have a natural instinct to have sex that does not need to be brought out or coerced. It's naturally there. So, yes, we're going to lie. We're going to come up with any type of rhetoric, any type of verbiage, any type of whatever we can come up with to convince you that you need to have sex with us as quickly as possible. Why? Because that's what we wanted in the beginning. So now, instead of just walking up to you and just landing on the line, hey, I'm sexually attracted to you, look, whatever. Now men are just use their credentials, and the titles that they have before and after their name, and then they'll just say, well, what's up? You want to live this lifestyle? You want to be with me? Well, this is what you need to do. I hate to see it happen because, once again, I know how men act, especially what? AS. What does AS stand for? After sex. That's when the real us comes out. The real us comes out after sex. Well, what happened to the charm and the wit and the humorous? That was BS. BS means before sex. Men, we are totally, unless you ran across Mr. Right. And for Mr. Right, for first of all, in my estimation, if I were a woman, sex with any man would come way, way down the line. We're talking about a minimum engaged, maybe not then. Because like I said, I know how men are. But that bait and switch, all those type games, and no. And I see a lot of men that are preaching that, and I hope you ladies don't fall for that. Somebody said, have your own money. Yes. Ursula said, respect is number one. Yes. Don't give too much ever. All right. Lady Ray says, a man with integrity has respect for himself and for others. Excellent. That is so true. Again, phone lines are open. Anybody want to call in? If not, this may be a short, abbreviated. Do not give a man you are not married wife. Oh, yes, indeed. Couldn't have said it better myself. And again, I just see it so. It seems like it's so prevalent in today's society, where I see, especially the young men and women, they meet. Exchange numbers, they start dating, and then sex starts to happening, and then it's, then a committed relationship, so they say. But as the comment is on the screen is referencing, ladies, you're doing wifely things. Do you understand? You're doing wifely things, but you're not receiving any benefits. Because, again, if that man just decides to leave and pack his stuff and say it's over with, bye, guess what? Nothing is on paper. You're not entitled to anything. In other words, there are so many men out there that will just use women up for sex under the guise of a relationship. So sometimes, ladies, you have to ask yourself, is this a relationship or is this just sex? Because just because you're going out on dates, just because you're having fun, just because he makes you feel good, just because he hits all your spots, just because he, from an emotional standpoint, you just feel so good just because he's around you. What does that mean in the big picture? In the big picture, what does it mean? Because again, if he was truly committed to you, you would have an engagement ring on, or you would be married. If he's truly committed to you, and that's just how I see it from a male's perspective. And I think some of you ladies, you just gotta put your foot down starting today, or if you haven't done it, put your foot down today and just say no more. I'm marriage material. I'm not booty call material. I'm not friends with benefits. Well, we're not friends. We're in a relationship. Okay, if the relationship is that serious, then why? So what's up with the wedding? What's going on with the engagement? Because I'm gonna tell you something about a man. See, when a man is serious about making you his wife, fiance or whatnot, once our mind is made up, you can't tell us nothing. We're going at a gusto. In other words, ladies, you're the only one that will be able to say, no, I'm not ready, because we're going to bring it up. Hey, I want to marry you, or we're going to propose, or we're going to let it be known that you are the woman that we want to be with on that level. But if you're not, if he's not saying anything like that, and as a lady, a lot of times in the morning or throughout the day, you got your ear to him, just wondering, well, when is he going to start talking about marriage? When is he going to start talking about getting engaged? 9 times out of 10, he's not. Why? Why should he? You're doing all the wifely things already. So, I'm waiting on him to pop the question. Well, why should he pop the question? Come on, people. Sometimes we got to have real conversations. Why should he pop the questions and you're doing everything that a wife would do? No. See, ladies, you gotta make these men expose themselves. Because ladies, as long as you're making things comfortable for us, we're just gonna be quiet, and we're just gonna go along with the program, and we're just gonna say, "Ooh, everything is so lovely. That sex I'm getting from you, baby, ooh, it is so good. All the other things you do for me, you cook for me, you clean, all that, ooh, it is so good. Oh, it's so good. Well, is it worthy of commitment? Oh, I ain't say all that now. Is it worthy of marriage? Oh, I didn't say all of that. But it pleases my flesh." That's a question some of you ladies need to ask yourself. Am I pleasing this man, or am I pleasing his flesh? Because men, when our flesh is being pleased, like I said, we're going to be quiet. And we just, that's one clear indicator you'll know if things are going a man's way. We're not talking about a lack of sex. We're not talking about a lack of food. We're not talking about a lack of time. Why? Because we're getting it. So we're not even going to bring it up. See? Fatherly advice again. I gave you some fatherly advice earlier. I'll give you ladies another tip of just from a fatherly advice. What I would tell my daughter. You ladies, you currently having sex with a man? Hey, that's up to you, your body. You currently having sex with a man? You want to know if a man really loves you? Let me give you some fatherly advice. Stop having sex with him. You'll find out real quick if he really loves you. Stop having sex with him. You'll find out real quick if he really loves you. Because if you stop having sex with him, wait a minute, wait, Betty, hold up. Let's sit down at the table. Let's talk about this. See, like I said, you gotta make these men expose themselves. Hold on, phone call coming. Good evening, caller. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. This is Carol Thomas.
Yes. Good evening. How are you doing? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Well, about 40 miles north of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah. How are you doing? We've emailed each other a couple of times, correct?
Yes.
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 Thank you for calling. How are you doing?
I'm good. I had a thought though. There's a lot of guys out there that are players, and what do we do? Like, okay, we meet a guy and we're holding off on the sex, and he's a player, but he's playing the long game, if you know what I mean. So he waits around, right? And then we give it up, and there you go.
Yeah,
After sex.
yeah. See. What I would say to that is, okay, it takes two to tango. Okay, it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
When we talk about sex, we understand this. But if you knew he was a player, if you knew he was a player and you knew this is what, this is what players do, you gotta, you gotta look in the mirror on that one and say, you know what part of this falls on me. Now, if you didn't know that, that's something different. But what I'm saying is, I felt that you should have still held on to your female leverage and your beliefs, because as I talked about earlier, we got BS before sex and then after sex. Dogs, the players, the a-holes, they reveal themselves immediately after sex. Immediately you find out where those guys are coming from.
We all know that, don't we, women?
Yeah. But
well, how do you know if they are a player though?
That.
Let's think about that one before sex.
Yeah.
How do you figure that one out?
See, and that's a great question, because as I said earlier, all dogs, the players, the F-boys, the ones who are looking for friends with benefits, the ones who want to manipulate women for money and sex and, whatever they can get out of a woman, maxing credit cards out and financial gain. See, all of those guys, the pickup artists, all of those guys are going to appear as angels in the beginning. All of them.
Right, yeah.
All of them.
Uh-huh.
So if all of them are appearing as angels in the beginning, that's why I say you got to have a vetting process in place to make him work for every inch. Because if you're not making him work, if you're not making him work for your phone number, if you're not making him work for the email address, if you're not making him work for just the opportunity to take you out on a date, see, all of that comes with work. He got to put in work. See, that's why I tell ladies, stop accepting these dates off a whim and have a vetting process in place to make him work, to show himself worthy of even taking you out on a date in the first place.
And don't tell them they're real cute either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So how's things going in your life? Everything's good or what?
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I got a relationship. That's something. It's not really going the way I think it should go.
What happened?
Well, he lives in Cincinnati. Now it's not a long distance relationship. I'm like an hour away, not even an hour, and we're not seeing each other every week, which kind of bothers me.
Okay, so he's in Cincinnati, correct?
Right.
And you're an hour outside of Cincinnati.
Right.
And you would prefer to see him more often?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Because we've been seeing each other for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it doesn't seem like we're moving it forward like I think it should be.
Okay. All right. Can I just give you some advice from a male perspective?
Yes, please do.
Okay. All right. I'm going to give you advice. I just got a couple of questions I want to ask you just to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. So you're roughly an hour apart. All right. So
yes.
He has transportation. You have transportation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. How often is you saying he sees you right now? Maybe once a week?
No, he sees me maybe once every couple of weeks.
Once every week?
Once every 3 weeks.
Once every 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Bingo. Pump your brakes right there. He's seeing other women.
Oh, man, don't say that.
Wait. No.
Really?
I bet my last dollar on it. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. Listen, all this is only advice. I can't prove it. I can't. I'm not up there. I don't have, see-through vision or anything like that. I'm not a psychic. But from a man's perspective, if he's seeing you said once every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, he in my opinion, he's dealing with other women.
Well,
Because,
we
because
used to see each other every week, but it's kind of tapered off.
of course it did. Because okay.
Oh no!
Okay. Let me explain something to you. See, when
All right.
we first meet you, of course, the attention and the sex and the compliments and all those things are going to be up here when we first meet you. So
Right.
yeah.
I know. This is depressing.
No. Okay, but it goes back to what I said earlier. Now, again,
Um,
it could be something else. This is just my opinion from a male's perspective, because
right.
once every 3 weeks, nah, he's dealing with
Yeah.
somebody else, and
Well,
that's
that's what
just
I was
me.
kind of thinking.
Hmm?
I was kind of thinking that.
Why were you thinking that?
Well, just like what you said. I mean, why every 3 weeks? Why?
Exactly. I mean, is that
What?
something someone you have strong feelings for?
Yes.
I mean, are
Yes.
you willing
But
to? Okay, if he is seeing other women, are you
uh
willing
huh.
to? Are you willing to end the relationship, or you just say, "Well, the hell with it, I'll just share him"?
No. I don't share. No. No way.
Okay.
No. Yeah. If I knew for sure, that would be it for me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But
like I
I don't
said,
want to be running down there trying to check up on him. Should I have to do that?
I mean, I wouldn't recommend that, because I'm just old school.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the things that I've learned throughout life is that if you start checking on people, you're going to find what you're looking for, and what you're
Uh
looking
huh.
for, you may not be able to handle it.
Well, that's what I kind of think. Once you find out, you got to do something about it.
Yeah, yeah. But again,
Yeah.
from a male's perspective, that's just sounds like male behavior 101. When we're dealing with
Yeah.
multiple women, what we'll do is we understand there's only 24 hours in a day, and
Right.
we deal with women based upon priority and interest level and things of that nature. That's why, as you stated earlier, early in the relationship, the attention was there. He was coming to see you more
Uh
often.
huh.
But as things
Yeah.
tail off,
Uh huh.
see. Okay, please understand this: a man who's a man who is seeing multiple women in
Yeah.
today's world, if a man can get multiple women outside of his home city in multiple locations, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half outside of his home
Oh
city,
man, really? Yeah.
that's men, that's like us having our cake and eating it too. So if I could have
Right.
a woman in my city, if I'm living in, I live in a small city in Louisiana. I live in Baton Rouge. There's a city west of us
Uh huh.
called Lafayette, a 1 hour drive. So if I could get a
Yeah.
woman in Lafayette, 1 hour drive
Right.
west of here, if I could go to New Orleans, which is about an hour and a half from here, I got a woman in New
Uh huh.
Orleans. I go to North Louisiana. There's a city called Alexandria, which is an hour and a half, 2 hours away. See, if I could get women
Uh
just
huh.
in multiple places outside of my city,
You
oh
would
my
love that,
goodness,
right?
it benefits the man. So
Yeah.
I want you to understand there are so many men out there that are looking for women who are 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour and a half away from their home city.
Yeah.
So
I see. I
you
hear you.
yeah, to me your criteria fits the MO perfectly.
Oh God.
But it's just my advice from a male perspective that a man who wants multiple relationships from a woman, that's ideal for him to have so many women in surrounding areas outside of wherever home city he lives in. Not, not, and we're not even talking about the women he's dealing with inside of his home city.
You sound like my brother. This is what he's been telling me.
Well, because we're men.
I know, right?
I mean, it's not a coincidence. I mean, we think alike. What did your brother tell you?
He said he thinks he's seeing other women. Yeah. Well, I said he's 56. I said he's not 26, but I don't know.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, I mean, a young guy is going to be running around trying to have sex with everybody. You know that. You slow down as you get older. You know that.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe not. Right?
Yeah. Listen. My daddy died when he was 62. But at 62, you could not tell my father he was not 19.
Really?
You could not tell my daddy at 62 that he was not 19 years old when it comes to dating.
Oh God!
And we're talking about a time during that time, no Viagra, no Cialis, no Levitra.
Oh man!
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So now men got what? They could take Viagra, they could take Cialis, they could take all these these different things to enhance their sexual performance.
Sure. Yeah.
So you got to understand, men start getting older. A lot of times men are like, okay, I'm 55, 56, I'm 60, I'm 65. It's like, okay, how much sex do I have left in me? But I got these sexual enhancement pills that I can take. I'll just take those and just say to hell with it. Now, going back to some of the rumors that, boy, see my broadcast on Thursday. I talked about this. I talked about older men trying to keep up with these young ladies, and they taking that was one of the first things I talked about. Taking these Viagra and all these pills, trying to keep up with the women, trying to keep up with the multiple women that they're having sex with, and it's tearing that heart apart. It's beating it down.
Yeah, it's not good on their health. That's for sure.
It's horrible. That's one of the rumors they're saying about someone who just passed recently, fill in the blanks. But anyway, listen, I'm not trying to bring doom and gloom to you. I'm just saying from a male's perspective, that's how I see it. I think he's seeing multiple women. And in today's world with the internet and social media and all these dating sites, I mean, men in their 60s can have their cake and eat it too with women
acting like teenagers, aren't they? They're acting like teenagers running around.
You're right.
God.
So are you looking for a committed relationship?
Yes, I am. Now he tells me he loves me all the time, but I know they do. They tell everyone, right?
It's only talk,
man.
What type of vetting process do you have in place?
Well, now what do you mean by that?
Okay, if you meet a guy and you're attracted to him, do you have a vetting process? Do you have something in place to kind of weed out, to kind of set off some bells or alarms to let you know that this guy could?
Yeah, what I do is when you first meet someone, you're sitting down doing a lot of talking, right? You're out to dinner or whatever, and I ask them questions about their past to find out what their patterns were. You know what I mean? Because people follow patterns.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, like someone once said, if you don't believe it, go to your next family reunion and look around. They follow patterns. Now, his pattern is that the women he's been with have cheated on him. I kind of understand why.
I mean, okay. I'm not saying
kind of tempting.
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying he's lying. It could have happened. Sure. But a lot of times men will put that out there as a crutch.
Really?
A lot of times we'll put that out there, especially if a woman say you ask us, well, why has it been so long since you've dated? And we'll put that out there and we'll say, well, I haven't dated because all the previous relationships we'll put all the blame on the woman, and she broke my heart, and she cheated on me,
Uh-huh.
and she did all. See, a lot of times that's a lie.
Oh, man.
But listen, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying a
Yeah.
lot of times it is a lie, because a lot of times in the beginning of the relationship, number one, we're looking for sympathy. We're trying to throw
Uh-huh.
things out there to kind of make you, be that shoulder that we can
Yeah.
lean on, and tell you things of that nature.
Uh-huh.
We're trying to build that confidence with you, and we'll just say, well, she cheated on me all the time. All the women that I was in my past relationships with, they cheated on me. But a lot of times it was either 50-50, we were cheating, she was cheating, or we cheated the majority of the time. But of course, we're not going to tell you that we cheated and we did all these, horrible things, because we don't want to lose you. So in the beginning of the
Well, that's
relationship,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or they could make an excuse. Well, I cheated because she was just so mean or whatever, you know. Maybe they lived with them, you know. I don't know.
yeah, but I would not advise you, to drive down there and try and
No,
spy
I'm
on
not
them.
doing that.
Okay, good,
No.
good, excellent. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. But
If it has to come to that, that's just ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to figure this all out, though.
mm-hmm.
What should I do?
What should you do?
Okoye, tell me. Yes, tell me.
Uh, I mean, it judging by the way you're talking, it sounds like you have deep feelings for him. And the last thing I want to
Yeah.
do is see.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, see, I'm not 100% sure. Number one, if he's dealing with multiple women, that's just my advice. That's just
Yeah.
the way I see it from a male's perspective. See,
Sure.
I can't
Yeah.
give you an answer to that if I don't know for sure this is what he's doing, because he could be the type of guy. I mean, there's so many other things that could be going on in his life that's causing him to see you maybe once every 3 weeks. So
Uh-huh.
if I if,
Yeah.
if I don't know that definitively, I can't really tell you what to do, because I don't know for sure that's what it is.
Yeah.
But
I
but
don't know
but
what
but
to
but
do.
if that was the case, if he is seeing multiple women or whatnot, I would advise you to get out of there as soon as possible, unless you're at a
Oh,
point
yeah.
unless you're
I'm
at a
not
point
putting up
where
with that.
that doesn't bother
Yeah.
you.
Nope. I'm not putting up with that. Plus, that puts my health at risk if that's what if he's doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean,
You know what I mean?
you're a smart lady. Why do you think he's only
Yeah.
seeing you every 3 weeks?
Uh, I I wish I knew. I think if you recall, I sent you a couple emails and I told you that we broke up, or I broke up with him last November 3rd, and we just got back together because he told me like he liked living alone, and we had been talking about possibly moving in together or even getting married. Or well, I was talking about getting married, but
Mm-hmm.
he never said anything. So that was just me.
Yeah.
But since we've been back together, like the beginning of the end of March, we haven't really been back together that long. And it was his idea. I mean, he wanted to get back with me, but maybe I'm just another one of his many women. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know. I thought I knew him. I don't know.
Yeah. How did you two meet?
We met online.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, Cupid. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the topic of tonight's discussion: online dating.
What? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. See, online dating is a haven for men who are
Uh huh.
trying to, who want to date multiple women. I mean,
Oh man, really?
it's a match. Like I said, I'm not saying that's what he's doing, but
Uh huh.
men who have those motives, men who want to portray a certain image and date multiple women when they're putting out that they want to be in a committed relationship with only one woman.
Uh
Online
huh.
dating is it's a perfect match for them because they can solicit or send messages to so many women. And as I always state with men, it's a numbers games. We don't
Yeah,
mind sending out 20 messages knowing that maybe one may respond in a positive way because we'll just keep sending out messages.
that's what men do. It's
Exactly.
a numbers game, isn't it? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but again, anytime to me, anytime a man has, is only seeing you, roughly pretty much once a month,
Uh huh.
he's dealing with other women.
And I'd like to go down there. I went down there once. He had me come to his house, but I don't know why. Well, I had a flat tire on the way home. Well, big deal. I have AAA. I took care of it. He says it's too dangerous for me to drive down there. Now I'm wondering why he doesn't want me at his house.
Well, you just answered it.
You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah. You just see. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you know the answer to a lot of these questions you're asking me. I really think you know the answer already.
Yeah, it's
Because
hard though, right?
yeah. Okay, so all the visits are occurring at your house.
Yeah, yeah.
See, see.
And before I broke up with him, sometimes he'd come up and we didn't even have sex. You want to explain that one to me?
Hell yeah, that's called putting it on layaway. See, yeah. As man, that's what we call putting it on layaway. See,
Really?
layaway. Of course, we know what layaway means. That means you put a little bit down, but you don't get the object right then. You put down the payment, and then you pay on it. You pay on it. Pay on it. So how do we pay on it? We pay on it with what? Time. See, usually that happens after a breakup, and we trying to get back with you.
Well, that was
Oh,
before I broke up with him.
okay, but still, it's still a layaway plan. The layaway plan, I pick up an object, I can't afford to, I don't have the enough money to pay for it all at once. So I'll say,
Uh huh.
okay, I'm gonna put $25 on it down on it, and you just hold it in the back, and eventually I'll just keep paying on it. And men, what we do is we pay on it with time, attention, compliments, things of that nature. But
Uh
usually,
huh.
usually we pay on that layaway with time. We're going to call, we're going to text, we're going to be so attentive. I mean, it's nothing for us to leave 10 voicemail messages on your phone and then you pick it up and you say, "Oh, I got 10 voicemail messages from my baby. Isn't he sweet?" But,
Yeah, I don't get that.
huh?
I don't get 10 voicemail messages.
What did you get in the beginning? I'm saying in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, he called a lot more. But
Thank you.
we do FaceTime, like
Yeah,
when I don't see him on the weekend, he'll call me FaceTime
yeah,
so I can see him and he can see me.
yeah.
You know,
Well,
we're just talking.
yeah. Whatever you do, don't go see him because you're gonna piss him off. And
Yeah, that's what I think. I'm not going there.
no,
No.
no, no, no,
And what if I find another woman? Then what? Jeez.
no. You just gotta take the L.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah.
Dating, no matter who you are, no matter what race you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter where you live, dating is always gonna be a gamble.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
it's dating. I don't care who's in your life. I don't care who you meet. Once you decide to put your heart on the line, it's going to be a gamble.
It is a
It's a
gamble.
gamble.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. It's always going to be a
Yeah.
gamble. It always has been a gamble. Are you willing to take that gamble? Some people are, some people are not.
Apparently, I jumped in with 2 feet. You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, all I want you to do is look at it from an alternative view, and then as women, you ladies are great detectives. After you get off the phone with me, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of things that's going to pop into your mind that's going to either help add to what I'm saying or may counter what I'm saying, and then you'll be able to put all the pieces together. But whatever you do, don't take my advice at face value, because I'm in Louisiana. I have no idea what somebody in Ohio is doing with their life, but it just sounds to me like that fits all the patterns of a man who's seeing multiple women.
Man, but men are men, they are. It's biology, but yeah. Well, yeah. I feel kind of silly now.
No, listen. Whatever you do, like I said, don't beat yourself up. Now, listen to what I'm saying. I cannot prove with 100% certainty the same way you cannot prove with 100% certainty he's seeing other women. We can't prove it. So don't just take what I say at face value or what you're thinking at face value. Maybe he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you think he is, right?
Judging.
Well,
listen. Judging by the patterns and the trends that you've described, I know as a man, okay. I know as a man, that's how I would play it. I'm just being honest with you.
Have you done that before?
I have. Yes, I have. I'm not going to sit up here like I'm a saint. I'm a long way from a saint. I have.
Yeah.
And it matches up 100% of what I would do. If I'm dealing with multiple women, you ain't coming to my house. You'll never come to my house. I'm going to come to your house. We're going to have sex. When I want sex from you, when I'm finished having sex with you, I'm going to go back home and I'm going to deal with whoever I'm dealing with, either in my city or who I want to deal with in the other surrounding cities or whatnot that I feel like dealing with. And then when I get the urge to have sex with you again, I'm going to call you up and I'm going to come up with some silly, lame excuse to why you haven't heard from me in 3 weeks.
Well, when I went to his house right before I broke up with him, you better believe I looked through everything when he wasn't looking to see if there had been other women there. Yeah, I used my detective work. I didn't find anything, but I guess that doesn't mean anything, does it?
You looked through the house, or what are you saying?
Yeah, I looked everywhere. Like in the bathroom, I wanted to see are there any feminine products in here, you know what I mean? I looked in the medicine cabinet. I looked everywhere. That's just me.
Listen, let me tell you something about a real player. A real player. A real player. A real player is not going to slip. Okay, let's say a woman.
Oh.
Okay, listen to me. Listen to me. All right, let's have some real adult conversations. Okay. A real player. If a woman spends the night at our house, okay, let's say she just happens accidentally to leave her underwear, panties, or bra, or whatnot. Okay? The minute we spot it, it's getting up out of our house. The only way you're going to find it is that we overlooked it. But the minute we spot it, anything dealing with that's a clear sign that another lady was here, like a lady may go into the bathroom, she may wash her hair or something, and we go in that sink and we see some long strands of hair.
Right.
Oh, that hair is coming out of there and going into the trash, because real players are up on their game. They don't slip like that. See?
Do you throw away the underwear?
Huh?
Do you throw away the underwear?
I couldn't hear you.
Well, say she leaves her panties there. Do you like throw them away?
Well, some men got a fetish, but anyway, it's going to be.
You want to get rid of them, right?
Listen to me. If we find it, if some men got that fetish, he's going to, I promise you, he's going to put it in the place where nobody knows where it is but him. But the straight up men who don't have the fetish, we're going to throw it away. Because if we're if we're dealing with multiple women, the last thing we want to do is have something lying around the house that's going to give it away. So we go in the sink and we make sure all the hair, the long hair, whatnot.
Uh-huh.
We go in the
Uh-huh.
shower. We scrub the shower. We scrub all those things up. We look under the bed. We look between the mattresses. We check those places. If we don't see any products that are things that indicate a woman was there, we're like good to go.
Uh-huh.
Whoever next in line, she could come over if that's how he has his bachelor pad set up. You know,
Yeah.
some men have their bachelor pad set up basically as a hotel, just in and out, in and out, in and out. But after the woman goes out, he's scouring that apartment, his bachelor pad or wherever, his home, for every detail to make sure that everything is cleaned up after. Got some men out
Wow.
there. You got some men out there who are sloppy. They'll leave
Yeah.
a bra is under the bed or whatnot. They don't even check for that.
Mm-hmm.
Another woman comes in, she sees the bra or the G-string or whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
the guys who are up on their game, the true players, the guys that I see that's out here today, the seasoned players, veterans, the a-holes, the pickup artists, the seasoned ones, they don't slip like that. Not like that.
Wow.
No. Nuh-uh. But once again, I'm just giving you advice. I don't know. I can't prove with certainty. But
Yeah.
sounds like what you're doing is sounds like the guy you're with.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But let's say that he is. You in a relationship. Hey, there are plenty of men out there who are looking for a good woman like yourself, and don't.
Well, yeah, I know that.
Oh, okay.
But, you want to protect yourself from these kinds of guys.
Yeah, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
Okay.
And anything else you want to talk about?
No, I appreciate your advice. I'll keep you posted on this situation.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a
How
good
this
night.
goes. Thanks,
All right. Take
Sequoia.
care. All right. Be good now.
Okay. Bye.
All right. All right. I got 8:15 on my end. Phone lines are open. Anybody want to call in? You can. If not, anything anyone wants to talk about in the comment section. That was a great call, by the way. Going back to what I talked about earlier, internet dating. You got to be careful on internet dating. It could be as Tyrone Brunson said, a sticky situation. Because there are men out there who are looking for those situations where they can date multiple women spread across different regions of where they live at. A lot of men. All right, somebody said, stop worrying about men, not unless he's a gardener and can help me dig up this dirt. I must have missed something in the chat. Okay, how many we got in? We got 29 in the building. Once again, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight, taking time out of your busy schedule. Internet dating. Is anyone currently in an internet dating relationship, or you've experienced an internet dating relationship, or maybe you had a good experience or a bad experience from internet dating? All right, Coach Patty just came in. Good evening, Coach Patty. Welcome to the show, as always. We just had a lady call in from Ohio. Anybody else in the chat from Ohio? So we just had a lady call in from Ohio, and she was talking about her experience with internet dating. She said that the guy she's currently seeing is only seeing her roughly once every 3 weeks. They live about an hour apart in Ohio. And what I was explaining to her is, based upon what she was describing, it sounds like the man is seeing other women because, as she stated earlier, the contact, the attention, the frequency in which they saw each other was much more intense in the initial stages. That's a common thing with men. We will shower you with attention and our time in the initial stages. And then, just like clockwork, AS, after sex, things start to taper off. And that's a lot of times a sure indication where men have lost interest in a woman, except for a sexual interest, and hopefully they hope that you don't leave the scene and just will put up with being, put up with him popping up every 2 or 3 weeks. It's not a good situation to be in. All right. The great one says, these men don't owe anyone exclusively, just like women don't owe it to them. Explore your options. Just keep your goodies on lock. All right. Ashley W is Ashley Y is in the building. Echo says, who will leave their bra under the bed? No, what I meant by that, Ashley, is a lot of times you'd be surprised as men that you got some men who are just what's known as slothful. In other words, you check under a man's bed, there's no telling what you are liable to see. Because a lot of times, a lot of men, especially bachelors, are not the most tidiest men out there. And so a lot of times when bachelors are cleaning up, they don't feel like, putting all that stuff up in a place and taking it to a decent place, to like a closet or whatever to dispose of it. It's just throw it under the bed and hope that nobody peeps under it. So a lot of what I meant by that is sometimes a man may find a bra or something and he just throw it under the bed and just say, well, I'll get to it later. And sometimes he may forget about it. So that's what I meant. All right. Miss Angie B say, I have come across some scammers, married people, and repeat violators of restraining orders. I would run background checks. It was too much for me. Yeah. So let's talk about the pros of internet dating. There are a lot of pros because it enlarges our dating pool. In other words, you have the opportunity to meet people otherwise you probably would have never met. But at the same time, it's so hard to figure out who's real and who's fake and who has lied about certain things on their profile and who has all this hidden baggage in their lifestyle, in their lives that you have to unpack. Somebody just talked about offenders, jail records, especially when you start getting up in my age, you start dealing with people who've been through divorces and, child custody and alimony. And, a lot of times you may meet a man or a woman and you say, hey, this person makes a lot of money or whatnot. They have a good paying job, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes that divorce, if you don't understand the terms of that settlement that the judge put in place, whereas the man, or in some cases in today's world, you see it more often where the woman is paying alimony. So sometimes you'll be surprised. A lot of that money, we look on the outside that this person is making. Well, how much is going to alimony? How much is going to child support? How much is going to private schools? How much is going to paying the mortgage? And then sometimes when you cut this thing all the way down, you're like, man, this person, they look good on paper, but the gross is here, but the net, when you got to filter and go through all those things, sometimes it's a whole different level. So you'd be surprised how many people out there, especially who are doing the online dating, who are looking for what? Financial help, financial security, financial stability. Well, what do they want to stabilize? Themselves, their lives. So that's another thing, You click on a guy's profile and it says John Doe medical doctor, John Doe, appellate court judge or whatnot, family court judge or CPA or, Esquire. Man, if you don't climb that tree and shake those leaves, you'd be surprised some of the things that could be playing behind the scenes. All right. Miss Angie B says, yes, that is true, especially if you are in an area where there are limited available men. It could be a positive, but beware. All right. Miss Angie B said, I could write a book. Call in, Miss Angie B. Let's talk about that if you don't mind. Because, again, internet dating, man, it could be hit or miss. A lot of guys my age going overseas, going to Dominican Republic, going to South America, going to Colombia, going to Brazil, going to Peru and Lima. And and a lot of guys like, man, I'm out of here. I'm going to another country. Trinidad, Tobago, all these different places, and Jamaica. And, hey, why are you going over there? I met somebody online. Oh, my goodness. And guess what? You cannot tell them nothing. You want to fall out with a friend, especially a male friend, try and talk him out of going to Colombia to meet this Colombian lady he just met online. My goodness. But that's the world we live in. Philippines. Oh, good buddy of mine right now, heading out to the Philippines. Cannot tell him nothing. Man, I'm going to the Philippines, man. Chick I met online, she everything I wanted. Well, you met online. What you really know about her? Well, just by the conversation we've had. All right, going out there. Good evening, caller. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is the gym girl. I'll call myself the gym girl.
Well, how are you doing this evening?
Good. How are you? I have a final update.
I'm good. You got an update? What's going on?
That's good. Yeah. So I didn't listen to you, and I got scolded. So you guys are all right, and I'm so embarrassed.
Wait. I didn't hear you. Repeat that for me again.
Oh yeah. So I didn't listen to your advice. I didn't listen to the girl's advice in the chat, and yeah, he basically it didn't. Not good. Not good.
Well, tell me about it.
So I gave him my email, and he didn't text me, or he didn't email me,
mm-hmm.
but he waited for me to come to the gym the next day, and he came up to me, and he was like, well, let's do something. He was like, but how am I supposed to contact you? And I was thinking, well, I gave you my email.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like the first red flag, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he was like, okay, well, let's do something this weekend. Like, we'll go out or something. And then he's like, oh, wait. He's like, I forgot. I'm having a party this weekend.
Mm.
He's like, you should come. And I was like, okay. Then I gave him my WhatsApp, which I was supposed to do so I could go. And it's weird because he said it was 15 girls going, which is kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the day comes to the party, and
we're messaging or whatever back and forth, and then he just doesn't message me back till like 2 hours after the time that the party was supposed to start.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I see him today, and then he's just telling me, he was like looking at me like, what? Why didn't you come? And I was like, no, like obviously I didn't have the address, so yeah. So basically, he's just kind of like playing games. I think, I don't know, or maybe he's trying to get me back. I don't know, but.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, so pretty much. Yeah.
All right. You want my advice on that, or what do you want?
Yeah, I guess your advice. I'm just kind of calling in to tell you guys that I should have listened to you guys.
Yeah. Okay. Before I give you my advice, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So I'm just going to ask you a couple of quick questions that's to backtrack to make sure we're on the same page. Okay. So you gave him the email address, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He did not email you, and you saw him again later at the gym, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you saw him at the gym, he approached you and asked for your WhatsApp, correct?
Well, he was like, well, how am I going to contact you? And then thinking my email, I was like, okay, like I'll give you my WhatsApp because I did want to go to the party. So.
Okay. All right. Good. So you gave him your WhatsApp, and then, oh wait, he invited you to the party, and then you gave him the WhatsApp, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what day? How much time passed by between the day you gave him the WhatsApp and when the party was actually going to happen?
A day or two. I think it was Friday I saw him, and then the party was Saturday, and we were messaging Friday night about like the time and everything.
Okay, so in between that time, were you communicating through WhatsApp before?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I'm guessing that was just like small chat, like things of that nature.
Yeah, really small talk.
Okay, so the day of the party was Friday, correct?
On Saturday, the day after.
Okay, Saturday. But you two had already established that you were going to meet him there prior to that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was already established that you're going to meet him at the party Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And the party was supposed to start at what time?
2:00, but mind you, he didn't send me the address. Like, he didn't send it to me yet. Yeah, and
I'm gonna get to that part.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that part. I'm just trying to find out the details. So 2:00, it was supposed to happen. The party was going to happen at 2:00 that Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when Saturday came around, you never heard from him Saturday, or you had already?
No, I didn't hear from him.
Okay. So once you accepted the date, did he give you apparently? Okay, so he didn't give you the address or anything once you accepted. Once you accepted, what did he say after that?
We were just talking about the time, and then he was like, okay, well, how am I going to send you the address? I don't know. He was just kind of making excuses. And then he sent it to me like 2 hours after the party started. He was like, oh, sorry, I was cooking.
Okay. So
and then he sent me the address.
Sent it to you 2 hours after. He was still there, and he was hoping you would come by?
Yeah, which obviously I didn't.
Okay. And obviously you did not do it, right?
No.
Okay. All right. But he did eventually send the invitation and the address to you 2 hours after.
Yeah.
All right. And then when you saw him, the next time you saw him, he was asking, why didn't you come by?
Oh, he saw me today and he made me seem crazy. Like, he came up to me, he was like shaking his head like, no, like, I can't believe you didn't come. And then I was like, seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what was the thing you said about 15 women?
Well, you told me there were like 15 girls there, and I know one of the ladies, she's actually, she's way older, but yeah, I really want to go. There's some girls from the gym that are going. But yeah, I don't know why he mentioned that. I know there were guys there too. But.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could give you my opinion on what I think happened, but first of all, you got you. I don't know if you listened to my earlier videos or if you read my book or whatnot, but one of the things
Yeah.
that I've talked about is I talked about a man's natural instinct to dominate. See, we want things to go our way. And
Mhm.
just and see that word dominating, it sounds like it's a word that, back from the caveman days when, you think about a man, he had a club and he would club the woman across the head and knock her out unconscious and put her on his shoulder and just run off with her and do no, no, no. See, that natural instinct to dominate can be so small and so subtle that
Mhm.
you didn't even see it coming. So what I meant by that is I see a pattern where he used his natural instinct, that natural instinct to dominate. It's always going to come out in a man. We're always going to try and swindle the leverage to our side to make things go our way, where we can set the dates and the times and the locations and so forth to make things more beneficial for us. So
Mhm.
once again, first thing I noticed is that he talked about the email. See. When guys, when we're not satisfied with the outcome, if we ask you for your phone number and you say no, guess what? We keep trying.
Mhm.
When you give us an email and we're not happy with that outcome, even though we know we can contact you through that email, we're not satisfied with that. We want things to go our way. We want that damn phone number. So
Yeah.
once he got the phone number, okay, see, you got to realize that a lot of that leverage, I know it may seem small in a woman's eyes, but see, a lot of that leverage swings to our side because now we got your number. We can basically hit you up when we feel like it. Now, the second thing that I noticed is that he did not call you until 2 hours after the party, after it was over.
Mhm.
This is just me. Again, I can't prove with 100% certainty, but usually when guys would do that, that meant we were preoccupied with another woman, and then
Mhm.
once we ever whatever we did with her, or let's say he was at the party, he saw someone else and he was conversating with her and things were going good or whatnot, he may have gotten a phone number from her or whatnot,
Mhm.
and she may have left. And then sometimes we'll look and see that the coast is clear, and then we'll say, okay, let me hit XYZ up, even though the coast is clear, and tell her, come on over, we can kick it and we can have fun, or, we can get to know each other better or whatnot. So like I said, I can't prove with
Mhm.
100% certainty that's what happened,
Yeah.
but I can pretty much with 100% certainty say that something had his attention for those 2 hours, because he didn't hit you until later on. Because if I'm not mistaken, your name is Ashley.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually.
See, Ashley, when as a from a male's perspective, when you are priority number one, we treat you like
Mhm.
priority number one. We don't treat you like priority number three if you're priority number
Yeah.
one.
Mhm.
Now, if you are priority number three, we treat you like you are priority number three. If you are priority
Mhm.
number
Which is it.
10, we treat you like you are priority number 10. You don't jump from 10 to
Mhm.
1. So
Mhm.
this is just me. I can't prove it, but it sounds like he's at a place right now where he feels that your hand has been revealed, that
No.
you're sweet on him. That
Yeah.
you're sweet on him, you like him. I'm not saying you have feelings for him, but guys, we could pick up on those small things, because you got to remember, see, you came in with a game plan and he dismantled your game
Mhm.
plan. See, you had a game plan, he took a hand grenade and he threw that hand grenade and he blew your game plan up.
He
So
did.
once your game plan was blown up, guess what? His game plan came into play. And that's what I always
Yeah.
tell women. Listen, in the initial stages, you have got to call the shots. See, you got to call the shots where the dates are going to occur and the time and the location. If you're not calling the shots, we are, and we're going to call those shots to benefit us. Now, trust me, he's got your phone number. He's going to contact you again. I promise you. Know why? Because
I
you're
don't
fresh
think
meat.
so.
Huh?
I don't think so.
Oh, yes. Okay. Why do you say that?
And just when we interacted today, and he was acting like he called me paranoid because like I just joked around, just like just like you know what you did. But I just smiled and walked away. He's like, "Oh, you're paranoid."
Well, okay. Listen, that's men behavior 101. What do I mean by that? Put the blame on who? On the woman. Make you feel that you are the blame for this. Put the responsibility on you rather than us taking the responsibility. So you please, whatever you do, don't fall for that and think that okay, maybe this is my fault. Maybe I'll give him another chance. I'm just being totally honest with you on this. The guy is, to me, from what you've described to me about him and some of the actions that he has displayed, he has a very narcissistic attitude, and he has an attitude like he's better than a lot of people. You got some men out there that think they are prettier than women. Now, I'm not saying he's one of them, but you got some men who think that they are prettier than women. And it sounds like you're dealing with a man with a very, very, very cocky and arrogant attitude. Because if he was into you, he would have been very apologetic. He would have he would have take ownership and say, "Listen, this is my fault. This is what happened. You know, I'm sorry for that. We made plans. Let me make it up to you." Did he say anything about letting him make it up to you?
No, he didn't. The only thing is, another girl that was going to the party, like this older lady, like she sent me the address, and then somehow they both turned it around on me, and she was saying that I didn't want to go. But if a man wants you there, I know that he would obviously respond sooner. So I know I'm not paranoid.
Yeah. Well, Ash, listen.
But no, I'm not going to see him again. I'm leaving in 2 weeks, so I won't be communicating with him.
Yeah. You know,
just keep it positive when I see him up again, and I'll keep it moving.
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Oh, I said, like, if I see him, because I see him every day, I'll just keep it positive and just being positive and flashing a smile and just, like, go their way.
Yeah. Now, Ash, I'm going to tell you something now. Yeah, you're right. You're going to see him, but you got to be strong because I'm saying you got to be strong. He's going to come at you again. You can trust me on that. That's just how men are. He's going to come at you again. So it's totally up to you how you deal with that. But he's going to come at you again, and there's a good chance he's going to come at you in a more humbler and sincere attitude to kind of make you melt like butter, you know, in an affectionate way to make you give in to him, to go out possibly on another date or whatever. So that's coming. Don't think he's just going to come to the gym, see you, and just ignore you. That's not how we work. Especially,
he won't ignore me. Yeah. No, he doesn't ignore me. He pushed me 3 times today. So.
Wait, say that again.
Oh, I said I know he won't ignore me. I don't think that we have that connection, so probably we'll just go our opposite ways, which is okay. I don't think I want someone not good looking at me.
Wait, you said he approached you 3 times today?
Yeah, 3 times.
So what did he say?
Oh, the first time he was like shaking his head, like, what happened, blah, blah, blah. And then the second time I was talking to one of the girls that went to the party, one of the older ladies, and he was like, she didn't come. And then the old lady was like, yeah, like, I know, she didn't want to. And then he came up to me again and winked and said bye.
Okay, so the last time he came up to you, did he try and ask you out again?
No, he hasn't. I don't think he will.
Oh, trust me, he will. He will.
I'm leaving soon.
Him?
I'm leaving this city for a bit soon, so I don't know.
Well, listen, Ashley, trust me. I know men. I promise you. I know. I'm a man. See.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
All right. Hold on for a second.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You heard that sound effect?
Yeah.
All right. See, he putting you on ice. See. That's why I keep telling you, ladies. I know you think that giving a man your phone number or what's I know it sounds so innocent. I know some of you like, man, that man elderly advice, he just overreacts when about a woman giving a man his phone number. I know men. I know what we do when we get their phone number. The
I was
same
kind
way
of thinking that too.
no, just listen to me. Just listen to me. See, the same way we got you see those objects on that shelf behind me? That's how some men will view your phone number. We'll just take that number, put it on the shelf, and out the blue, just out the blue one day, we'll contact you just to see where your mind is, hoping you're either A, in a vulnerable state, or a state where you still may have some sort of interest in us. But there's a reason why you're on that shelf or that phone. We put that phone number in our address in our phone because we're dealing with other women. So
Yeah, of
I'm
course,
hoping I'm hoping you don't get caught up in that shuffle. You know, because once
yeah.
again, the man, he is coming at you. That's just how we operate. No man,
Yeah.
any man, no man hates to have please don't take this what I'm saying literally. No man hates to have a fish on the line and we try and reel that fish in and that fish gets off the line. We can't stand that. We like, the hell with all those other fishes, I want that one that got off the line. Even though there are plenty of more. We don't care about those other fish. We want that one that we had on the line. We want that one.
Yeah.
So he's coming back at you, but you know it's up to you how you deal with it. But you know what's the old saying? When somebody shows you who they really are, guess what? Believe them.
Yeah. I don't think I want to be involved with that.
Yeah.
Too much energy.
Yeah. So
But I should have listened to you guys. I didn't.
I mean,
And I was naive.
you didn't do anything wrong. I mean, you just didn't. I mean, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Pretty bad, but it's okay. I'll see you tomorrow. Be positive, flash a smile, and go on with my workout. I'll have my headphones on, so I'll be okay.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to like listen to all my gym stories with this guy, and there shouldn't be any more.
Oh, trust me, he's coming back, and just call in when he does. I like to get updated because he okay. Listen, he's going to contact you. You trust me on that.
Okay.
All right. You have a good night.
You too. Thank you so much.
All
Bye.
right. All right. What time is it? 8:45. Let's go through the chat real quickly. Men called me after 3 or 4 years. My standard response was wrong phone number. Yeah, that's what men do. See, I talked about that in one of my videos. See, that's one of the things about your ex. See, if your ex-boyfriend had a crystal ball and they could look in that crystal ball and spin it and whatnot, look in it, and even though you've moved on and the lady you're in another relationship, if an ex had a crystal ball, your ex had a crystal ball, you know what he's looking for? He's looking for the first time you had a dispute or an argument or a fight with your new boyfriend or your husband or your fiance. Because you'll get that text 20 minutes after that. If he knew for a fact, wait a minute, Carolyn and her fiance just had a major disagreement. That's my ex. That's my boo. I still got feelings for her. He'll send that text or he'll call within 15, 20 minutes. If he knew for a fact. Now, that doesn't mean that you would go back with him, But men, they look for that state. We look for, that's why you'll get that text out the blue sometimes, because we're checking, are you in a vulnerable state? Are you in a state where the new guy that you were with or whatnot, are you two on bad terms? Are you on shaky grounds with him? Are you having major disputes constantly with him? See, if we knew those things, we'd hit you up right then. But what we do is, since we don't have a crystal ball, we can't predict when you're having a fight or a dispute with the new guy you're dealing with. We'll just check in from time to time, hoping we're in an area that's close to where, you may be in a dispute or you may be in a vulnerable state. That's why some of you women, you got to change some of these things. I was talking to a woman. She said, listen, I just can't be without a man. I said, oh, Lord. Yes, you can. No, I can't. I can't be without a man. I just got to have a man. Well, don't tell a man that, whatever you do. Because they'll just pop in and pop out, pop in and pop out. And those are the things that they check for. That V word. Are you in a vulnerable state? Because a lot of times, if exes understand, okay. You with the new guy, things are going rough or whatever. A lot of times, it's almost second nature to start thinking about what? Your exes, your past relationships, things of that nature. Doesn't mean you're going to go back with him. But a lot of times, some of those exes are popping your mind and you say, man, let me call him up or not call him up. But like I said, if we had that crystal ball and we knew exactly when you were having those rocky times or those hard times with the new guy, man, we'll call in right. What? All right, let me get this phone call real quickly. Hold on. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good evening.
Good
this
evening.
is Coach Patty.
Good evening, Coach. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Excellent. I'm doing excellent. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I was listening in. I try to just listen in and see, how I can relate this to what I'm experiencing sometimes in these coaching sessions. And like I mentioned before, I'm not a relationship coach, but I see that this flows over sometimes these topics and how it can be applied to everyday life. And I said, oh man, my heart just feels sometimes for the young ladies that call in, or what the young ladies are experiencing in this dating world. It's kind of wild. And one of the things I noticed is, you can kind of relate this to some of these challenges to, like, if you're going out for the job of your dreams, right? If you know that you have this job that you desire and you have this place that you want to be, it's kind of, you got to do the vetting thing too. You can't really be so desperate to let them know that you really want that job and you can't live without that job, right?
Yes.
And so dating can kind of be that same way. And I heard you talking about a young lady saying that, she needs a man. Well, if you go with that same kind of mindset into a job, like you desperately need them, they feel like that. I think the job can realize that they have the upper hand on you.
Mm-hmm.
And so just like with dating, I kind of liken it to the job situation. If a man truly knows you're the one, let's see what he wants to do.
Yes.
And it'll tell you everything about what he'd rather do. Would he rather call you? Would he rather keep his word? Would he rather do those things?
Mm-hmm.
What he wants to do sometimes leads to what he'd rather do, or what he rather will not do, I guess, in the case of Ashley. And that was just a huge smoke screen.
Yeah.
But
what was your take on that? On Ashley?
I think she felt in her gut in the beginning that something was off.
Yeah.
And I feel like, because I thought I heard another conversation a couple of weeks ago when she called. She seemed apprehensive about him from the beginning. And I think, there's nothing like your intuition. You may not be able to pinpoint it. You may not be able to say exactly what it is, but you know something quite isn't right.
Yes.
And so in that quite isn't right stage that you're feeling, you have to be really careful to, you know, see if manipulative behaviors are being hidden. People can fool you all day with their words like it's a smoke screen because that's the ultimate deceiver, right?
Yes.
But I think with Ashley, and this is not just with her, this is with just human beings a lot of times. If we let our emotions blind us from reality, there you go. You're caught almost, you know, and you have to kind of separate your emotional, I guess, your emotional state of being from the fact that you need to develop rational thinking. I'm not saying that she wasn't doing that, but it will help to separate the two.
Yes. Yes.
And if you let your imagination sell you on the thought that he's the one, well, then you go into it like dreaming and thinking, oh, what if I imagine, oh, maybe he likes me? And, you know, you'll imagine promises, you'll imagine all sorts of things. And I see a lot of times with people, and I guess we can relate this to dating, is if you really, really like a guy, that rational thinking can sometimes be clouded because you start imagining things.
That's right.
And it blinds you from that reality. But see, if you operate with kind of in that rational thinking mindset,
yes,
then it prevents you from being manipulated.
Amen.
Right?
That's true.
I would say if you ever feel like you're in a position, if you ever feel like, oh, well, how can I show him I'm different, or how can I help him to see that I'm different? Then you're susceptible to being in a position of being manipulated.
Yes. Yes.
You know.
Yes.
You have to wait for him to show what he really says is real, and then after that, possibly you can believe it, right?
Yes.
So it's a challenge, and I just see so many comments about that, and the challenges in dating in this world is something else.
It is.
But
it is. It is.
Yeah.
It is. One of the things that I took from her conversation is that the game plan that she had going in, the man totally pulled the rug from under her, dismantled her game plan, and then implemented his game plan. And I see that occurring in so many not just relationships, but I see that occurring in so many male and female interactions. In the initial stages, in my opinion as a man, this is just me, in the initial stages, a woman controls the whole ship. A woman controls the whole ship, and she can steer that whole ship anywhere that she wants that ship to go, and the man will follow. But the man will try in some very subtle ways to elbow her and get her out of that captain's seat, and we drive the ship. And so if women don't understand in the initial stages, again, this is just me, Coach Patty, in the initial stages, a woman has all the leverage, all the power is in her court.
Right.
And we will follow her over hot coals. We will run through a brick wall. We will take a bullet for her. All of those things, all the advantages are in the woman's court, and we will cater to everything. But if she doesn't understand that, we're going to run the show. We're going to drive the ship. Now you're in for a long ball game, or a long run.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true. That is so true. And I had mentioned in the previous comments on other days when you were on that it's the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah.
It's that if you fall for it, you're going to be tricked. And I had put something in the comments. I know it may be very unpopular, but I'm telling you, as blue as the sky is some days, if you give away the most precious thing, which is your body, in my opinion, then you've lost initially,
Lost.
and the tables are turned,
Tables turn, and you'll never get it back.
and you'll never get
You'll
it
never
back.
get
You
it back.
can't go back in reverse.
Nope.
What's
Nope.
done is done. You may as well just wipe your hands clean of it and start over. Because I'm not saying that this is not about control and manipulation, but it is about knowing, seeing where his cards are.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate, in my opinion. It has got to be the ultimate thing to vet, because either he's going to come right along and be on board with you, or he's not, which is okay. Go the other way if that's not what you're into. But what I'm telling you, if you give that away so soon, I say you give it away to your husband. You know, I know that's not very popular, but I say that for many reasons, because of, you need to see who is initially supposed to be in your life, and that tells you a lot.
Yeah.
And you have to really be careful with that. I always say anything that's valuable is not readily available to anybody.
Yes.
And if we think of ourselves like that as women, think about like with diamonds. Are those readily available? Can you get your hands on those anytime you want? No.
Come on now.
Right? If you go to a car dealership, do they just let anybody test drive a Bentley?
Thank you.
No.
Come on now.
No, they don't.
That's right.
So if you have to go through a process, a credit check, whatever, to even test drive a Bentley, this is the same process you need to put people through when they want access to you.
Yes.
Right?
That's exactly.
And so I don't think a lot of people think of it that way. They don't think they can. I don't know really what it is to get to this point. Maybe they think they can't do it, or I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
I think this is just me. I think it stems down to a lack of knowledge. That's just me, because I think if they knew the power that they possess, some of these relationships would not be going the way that they're going. We would not have so many women as depressed as they are today. We would not have so many women that are this close to going to mental institutions because of jacked up relationships. We would not have this many women with low self-esteem. We would not have this many women who are battling. I mean, just battling these problems with men. And it seems like this is what it seems like to me, Coach Patty. It seems like it's the good-hearted women. It seems like it's the good-hearted, the good-natured, the women who are givers, the women who are just who are good-hearted. They're looking for a good man. It seems like those are the ones who are receiving the worst type of treatment from men in today's world.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. It just seems like it's the good-hearted, the good-natured women that are just, as the old folks say, catching the blues. I mean,
yeah, that's unfortunate.
Goodness. Some of the stories that they are telling me, and some of the things that, and it's almost like it keeps fitting the same scenario. I did this for him. I did that for him. I did this for him. I did that for him. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. But got absolutely nothing back in return. Yeah.
Well, that goes along with, I keep going back. I know I'm really traditional, and I say it's worked for generations in my family. That's all I've really known, is to understand that the standards is, in my opinion, not just any person that you give away your power to any person, but it's to the person that you're with for life, your mate or your husband or your wife.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, there's got to be something to it, because that way of community, that way of just relationship, people that love you, they're going to learn you.
That's
and this
true.
goes both
Amen.
ways.
That's right. That's right.
It goes that way for the husband, and it goes that way for the wife.
Yeah.
And if you're smart enough, you learn from your mistakes. I said that before, but you really have to shift your thinking in a way to understand that this is really human beings were not made to be alone in
True.
life.
That's right.
And that young lady you said you were speaking to, that she said that she, would you say she can't be by herself, or she can't?
Yes.
Okay,
Got to have a man.
innately, that's true. But don't you want the right person, not just any person?
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and it's kind of difficult finding that. I get it, because we have all these things, and I think online dating, when you're talking about that, that's just opened up a whole world. To me, that made things worse, in my opinion, because
Yes.
you have people that can hide easier.
Yes.
They
Yes.
can hide easier behind the keyboard. They can hide easier behind the phone. You don't know the context of a text. But you can if you're talking to someone eventually, or you're meeting up with them. You can sense body language. You can sense tone when they speak. You can't do any of that online.
That's true. That's true.
And so I think it's provided a great challenge, and to now navigate that, I wouldn't even recommend, honestly, online dating. I just wouldn't, for that reason.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah.
The cons greatly outweigh the pros.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you tuned in or when you tuned in, but there was a lady who called in earlier from Ohio, and she outlined a scenario that she's dealing with a guy that she met online, and she talked about in the initial stages, he was giving her attention and time, and they live 1 hour apart, so he was coming to see her very frequently, but now she's noticed that his visits have tailored off a lot, and now she only sees him like once every 3 weeks. And my advice to her was, he's seeing multiple women. The sex with her has played out. And so again, going back to online dating, that's what a lot of men who are looking for multiple sex partners, when they go online, that's what a lot of those men are looking for. They're looking for a woman or multiple women that they can visit within a 30-minute to maybe an hour and a half drive away from where they live at, because they can drive an hour east, or they can drive an hour north, or they can drive an hour west, or an hour south, and be with other women, deal with them, have sex with them or whatnot, and then just go home like nothing ever happened. So that online dating is a haven. It's perfect for those type of men who are looking for those women where they say, well, she's only 2 hours away. Okay, she fits the criteria. She's only an hour away. She's away from, she can't really monitor what I'm doing in my home city, even though I may be married in my home city. I may be engaged. I may be in a committed relationship, but I'll deal with you because it's convenient. You're only 45 minutes away, an hour away drive or whatnot, and you'll never come to my house. Never. I'll just come to your house and come up with some lame excuse why, you can't come to mine. One of the excuses she talked about, she said the guy said that he didn't want her driving 1 hour to come see him because he said it was dangerous for her to be on the highway by herself. Now that's a classic excuse.
Oh no.
Classic. That's a classic excuse for men. Oh, it's too dangerous. You're a female. You shouldn't be on the highway driving, 1 hour by yourself. Then you got, come on now. We'll pay for Uber then.
Exactly. Man, there's so many. I think I came in on the tail end of that. The fact that I think he said she had sex with him, that was game over.
Thank you. Game over. Yeah.
It just, you can't go back from that. And then this is my opinion. You can tell me what you think, but I see that because there's so many options. There's like a plethora of options online when I guess men go on there and they look for women.
Yes.
And so think about if a man was just out, at the mall, or if a man was just out wherever, he could bump in and run and meet random women. The fact that he now is going online to meet women, red flag number one.
Yes. Yes.
In my opinion.
That's right.
And if it's that way, then perhaps, and I don't know if men see women this way, he could think you're needy and desperate and can't find anybody if you're online.
True. Very true.
I've heard men say this
That's true.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I know this hurts, but I mean, if men are saying it, then there has to be some truth to it.
Listen, say that again. If men are saying it, you better believe you could take it to the bank.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And so we have to consider and watch out for red flags. And I've seen so many, and I've witnessed so many, and I've talked to men that have even said this. If there's things like extreme bullheadedness, okay, because I'm not talking about a man trying you. A man probably doesn't try you, even if he's a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But extreme bullheadedness, lack of concern, or that righteous indignation, I mean, that's a red flag.
Yes.
And it kind of almost seemed like Ashley, the guy had this just bullheadedness about him, and just kind of this attitude that was just like as if she needed to step up to him in a certain way.
Exactly.
Yes. That's no. So, yeah, there's so many things that we can protect ourselves from as women, and really the ball is in our court because we have control over it at the very moment we meet someone, right? If we meet someone.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's just, oh man, there's a lot of the heartache can be avoided, but you got to be willing to put these things into place. And I was saying in the chat, just try it and see how it works out for you, and see if you have a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing about just not taking that out of the equation. I've had this conversation with both of my I have 2 adult children. My daughter's 23, my son's 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this conversation a long time ago with them, even with my son, because it's hard in today's world where being a virgin, people make fun of you. My daughter went through a lot and all this stuff. But I said, you know what? I said, in the end, I believe a man has more respect for that than anything else.
Hell yeah.
If he's truly the man for you.
That's right. Amen.
And that is exactly how I was raised. We weren't allowed to, I had very strict parents, but there's got to be something to that. I'm not saying it's totally 100% the trajectory for everybody. There's something in that where it works on a certain level.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know what you think about that.
Well, in a perfect world, Coach, I feel that it should. But man, this online thing is just so imperfect. It's so. It's just so cutthroat. It's so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so many games being played out there. I just hate to see so many good women and that are putting their trust and their hearts and all their soul and all their equity into these relationships, and eventually the curtains are pulled and they find out the guy has been lying or misleading them, or already in a relationship, or he's already married, or he's whatever. The truth comes to light, and then some of these ladies are so heavily damaged that it takes them so much time for them just to bounce back, because they never saw it coming. There are some women out there that are just so trusting, and they just think that they just see the good in everybody, and again, don't have any type of system in place to vet, and they don't have someone like myself or someone like yourself to talk to help them navigate through this world. I taught at the college level for almost 10 years, and a lot of times you'd be surprised how many young men and young ladies would come into my office during my office hours and just talk about some of the stress that they're having, just strictly based upon dating, nothing else. We're not talking about studying. We're not talking about final. We're not talking about final exams. We're not talking about
Right.
problems they're having with other professors. Just strictly
Right.
dating.
Right.
A lot of times,
Right.
Coach, I could, I gained a lot of experience as far as a teacher, and noticing patterns and trends with students' behavior. A lot of times, I could notice when I would see a young lady, and her GPA would be here, and then sometimes, especially in the fall semester, and then sometimes around homecoming or maybe that middle of the semester, that GPA went from here and it started to, and it started to drop. A lot of times, I could just look at that behavior and say, that's a young man she met.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it was true, but you'd be surprised how many times that I predicted that, and then sometimes, I would call a student in and, ask them, is there anything I can do, or is there anything, any resources that you may be interested in that the university can offer you, if you're going through depression or anything like that, just to try and help them, get back on track and let them know there are things that the university offers to try and help you get back on track if that's what you need. And a lot of times they'll just start breaking down and they'll just tell you, it's this guy I met. 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 I said, oh, Lord.
Right. That's so amazing that you talk about that, because I too, I don't know if I mentioned, I'm a university professor full time. And I've been in education the past 18 years. And this is not why, but it's one of those things that I kept seeing reoccurring. I said, I just need to coach on this, just life.
Yeah.
And not necessarily like relationships, but it flows over into that. And you're right.
Yeah.
I have seen that as a university professor. I see that a lot. And it's just that guidance it breaks my heart sometimes. But, one of the things I say is you have to put your self-respect above your feelings.
Thank you.
Feelings are fleeting.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Put your self-respect.
That's right.
The respect you have for yourself. Put it above your feelings.
That's right.
You may feel differently tomorrow.
Yes.
And when it comes to women, we really need to understand the vital feminine power.
Yes.
There's a female magnetism, and there's a depth to just our existence, our sex appeal, everything.
Yes.
The mystery of the mystery of who we are is what's enticing the men.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And so possessing that ability to just walk away, go quiet, whatever you need to do, it sends a message to him that you're the prize.
That's right.
You don't have to say anything.
Nothing. That's right.
It's just an understanding that men pursue and not women.
Thank you.
And you never chase. Therein lies your power.
Thank you.
Right. That's it.
That's right. Amen. Amen. And it's natural.
Yeah.
That's the way God or nature, whatever you want to subscribe to, that's the way it's designed.
Right.
It's designed that way. If a lady is chasing a man, that's unnatural. That goes against nature. You have no business pursuing a man. For what?
Right.
He's going to use you up like a dirty dish rag.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't compromise your values. Don't compromise your morals. Don't compromise your beliefs.
Right.
I don't care how fine or whatever he is. No. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. You got to shake it up. You got to shake it up and realize what's going on. If not, pain is the highest cost of growth. Sometimes.
You tell her. Thank you. Say that again.
Pain is the highest cost of growth.
Thank you. Thank you.
And sometimes if there's no maturity, sometimes there's no maturity without growing pain.
Yes.
This is why we'd have adversity in our life.
That's right.
And your pain can turn your life around. It can, push us into our destiny, but we have to, pain protects us and preserves us to a certain extent to help us mature in a way that we need to.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's just preparation for who we're meant to be. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I just wanted to comment on that. I won't keep you too much longer. And I said, yeah, I see this every day. I see it with students that walk in. I see it with the clients. I see it with my mentees.
Do you have a
Yeah.
you have a YouTube channel? Are you doing a podcast?
No, I didn't. One of the ladies, I think it was 78 days. She was asking the same thing, and I said, no, I don't have one. I said,
Why not?
maybe I should. I don't.
Yes,
I,
yes,
I
yes.
don't. I don't know. I don't know why I don't have one. Because I
Yes.
just been in this realm of my life doing this, and I haven't branched out into that. But it's something worth taking a look at
Yeah, but
for sure.
please consider that because the wisdom and knowledge that you have, you'd be surprised how many people are looking for that. And that's one of the things that I'm learning on my journey. And I've only been doing this a couple of months, but the knowledge and the experience and the things that we have, there are so many people who need that. They're yearning for it because they've never had someone to articulate things that we've experienced in the manner in which we have experienced those things. So whatever you do, please consider that because you would be a tremendous asset. And
okay.
I could easily see your channel exploding because I can tell you have a heart for people.
Thank you.
And that to me that's what we need more. See, we need people who have compassion for people because right now, if you look at it, there's so many people who are just bombarding. It's like they're just taking a baseball bat and hitting people over the head. Don't do this. Don't do that. But you have to have a compassion for people because, Coach, there was a time when you and there was a time we didn't know half the things that we know now.
No.
And there was time and there was a time where we had to learn through the school of hard knocks. And take our bumps and our bruises and things of that nature. And this is how you acquire wisdom. So the knowledge that you have, I would hope that you would strongly consider starting a YouTube channel, a podcast or whatnot, and because there's a generation, Coach, that really needs us. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
they need us bad.
Yeah. I'll take your consideration, of course, and I think I too am in my 50s. I think you're older than me, but yeah, I've learned a lot.
I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you up there.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not shy to say that. I'm over 50 and I'm fine with it.
I got you. Okay.
But yeah, no, there's some things I've learned along the way, and age doesn't necessarily mean wisdom.
That's true.
So we get that.
That's true. Yeah.
Because I've met so many people that are similar around my age range, and anyway, yeah, I think it's the experiences that I've had, most definitely, that have shaped my life.
Yes.
So, okay, well, it's great talking to you. I'll let some other callers get in and get their questions answered and share their experiences, but I will take the heed what you said, and I appreciate that.
And make sure you leave your contact information in the chat.
Yes, I will.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thank
bye-bye.
you. You too.
Make sure we give Coach Patty a round of applause for that great call. Let me see. Miss Angie B said, "I'm 56." Yes, Miss Angie B, I'm right there with you. I'm 54, and again, the knowledge, a lot of knowledge that I had that I have today, got it through the school of hard knocks. What do you mean? Making mistakes. Bumping my head, making mistakes. People tell you don't go left, go right. I say, no, I'm going left. Why? Because left looks more attractive. And the hell with what you old folks are saying. I'm going to do it my way. And guess what? The old folks were right. But I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn the hard way when the old folks say, hey, you got to stop hanging with that crowd. That crowd is going to get you in trouble. What happened? The crowd got me in trouble. You know. So, you know, it's so many experiences that I had to learn the hard way growing up. And if only I would have just listened. And I'm not going to even go into the mistakes that I made just by, as a man, getting into the flesh, choosing some of the women that I had allowed in my life when I should have chose this person, because I knew deep down inside this is the best lady for me or the best girl for me. But at the time, she wasn't having sex. So I was like, oh, you ain't having sex? Well, she having sex. Well, I'm going over here where the sex is being distributed. And guess what? Another hard lesson I had to learn. So again, that's what I call just lessons at a school of hard knocks. You know, my grandmother used to say, boy, there's no lesson like a bought lesson. What does she mean by that? Basically what she meant is the lessons that you got to pay a price for. Sometimes that price is not money. Sometimes that price is paying out of your hide, out of your behind. Sometimes that price is being paid out of depression. Sometimes you pay that price with crying, with tears. Sometimes you got to pay that price with anger and bitterness and hatred. Sometimes you got to pay that price with just, you don't even want to look at yourself in the mirror. You get to that mirror, you look all around that mirror, but you don't want to look at yourself in that mirror. Why? Because you feel that low. Because you allowed somebody to come in your life or whatnot, and you did some things that you knew you should not have done, but you did it anyway. And it turned out to be gravel in your mouth. So all those things, once again, we all make mistakes. Everybody, you're going to be somebody's fool one day, especially you young folks. If you've never been somebody's fool, I promise you, I'm not trying to wish anything bad on you, but just keep living. Something is going to happen. Somebody's going to come in your life, sweep you off your feet. You think you're in love. That's just how life works. But older folks, like I said, we've just been down that path so many times. That's why we can call it like that. That's why a lot of times, you know, a young lady, you could bring a young man home, and your daddy look at that young man and say, not him. And you look like, Daddy, I should have brought him over here because I knew you wasn't going to accept him. You still think I'm a child and you don't want to let me grow up, and you don't respect any man I bring in here. And Daddy trying to tell you, baby, him, I ain't bringing no man over here no more, Daddy. I'm tired of your stuff. I'm grown. You can't. Daddy trying to tell you, not him. Why is that? Because Daddy see all the things that he used to do back in the day. Man, we ain't no saint. Let me say that. We may be saints. We may have changed when we got older, but back in the day, we were doing the same BS. If your preacher, if he's real with you, your uncle, your father, if he's real with you or whoever, they'll tell you, oh man, nothing new under the sun. We was doing the same thing back in the day. The exact same thing. And that's why your daddy can spot those things. That's why a young man can bring a young lady home for Thanksgiving or for Christmas, and mama look at that young lady and say, come here, son. Let's have a conference in this kitchen. Right now. The hell with later right now. See that young lady that you brought in here? She is not the one for you. Mama, I'm grown. Stay out of my business, mama. I don't want to hear all that. I'm going with her. So, again, nothing new under the sun, people. Absolutely nothing new. All right, so we don't have any more phone calls. Let me see. Good Tree said we've all played the fool. Yeah. Hey, people. That's just a part of life. And then again, if everybody, if we're accountable and we all take inventory of our lives, we know that we've done some things in relationships that we're not proud of either. So it works on it works both sides. Works both ways. All right. Somebody said Grandpa was right. Hindsight. Yep. Somebody said I take responsibility. Miss Angie B, we're in the same boat. Lord knows I take responsibility for all of my mistakes. Why? Because I played a hand in it. You know, I was a willing participant. Let's see. Ashley said, I wish I could put elderly in my pocket when men approach so I don't get got. I understand the importance of having a father around to help you vet. All you got to do, Ashley, either listen to my videos or get the book. I keep saying I'm gonna go through that book on my podcast, and I've been just bombarded with so many emails that I'm trying to get out as far as people wanted me to comment on this and that I really hadn't had time to go through the whole book. But it's a vetting process. Once again, that's designed to weed out the dogs, the players, the F-boys, and all those bad type of men, and exalt the good men. So always remember that, ladies. Whatever vetting process you have in place, you may look at it and say, no, that's too stringent. No man is going to go through that. The good men will. Why? Because we recognize what you're doing. That's why you probably chose one bank over another bank, because their security system is much more better to keep people from hacking into your accounts, to keep people from getting into your checking accounts or your savings account. You look at this bank, and this bank has, several steps that you got to go through, and this bank has a whole litany of things that you got to go through. And you say, I want that one. That holds that where the process is much more difficult for somebody to just go online and access and hack my banking information and take my money or whatever. And so, ladies, you got to have that same mentality when it comes to vetting men. Ladies, let's be honest for a minute. You think the attractive, handsome, the fine dudes, you think they don't know they are attractive and fine and handsome? You really think they don't know that? They know that already. Why? Because so many women have told them that. So we all like what we like. So whatever type of man you like, you better have a vetting process in place. Because it's something about this heart or whatever you want to call it, that'll say, nope, not him, not him, not him, not him, not attracted to him, not attracted to him, but him, I'm attracted to him. And a lot of times, these eyes can play tricks on us. And you pick out that man that you're attracted to or that woman you're attracted to. If you don't have that vetting process in place, it could be a long, long, hard road. All right, so if we don't have any more phone calls, I think it's 9:30 my time down here in Louisiana. Might go ahead and call it a night. I'll give it a few more minutes. Anybody want to call in? 78 Days said, I got burned also. Hey, that's just life. But guess what? The key to it is we learn from our mistakes. I just hate to see so many ladies, it seems like they're going through a repeated cycle of men, of bad men coming into their lives. All right, Lady Ray said, elderly advice on handling sexual comments from men on dates, even when you are dressed appropriately and haven't given off that energy. Okay. Advice on handling sexual comments from men on dates when you are. Okay. Hopefully, I got your question right, Lady Ray. You're asking about advice on comments from men who are making sexual comments, even though you're dressed appropriately. To me, that's a red flag as far as, especially if it's sexual comments that you find are crossing the line. To me, that's a red flag that this is a guy that's totally only interested in sex, because when you take the time out as a lady to ensure that you're dressed in a way that you feel that is feminine and also appropriate, and a way in which it demands or commands respect, and a man is making those type of comments that you feel cross that line, to me, once again, that's a clear indicator that you can expect more of that if you don't check that. So let's say it's a guy that you're interested in. Once again, absolutely nothing wrong with that. If he makes those type of comments, then you need to have something in place that you alert him that you as a lady, because that's very important for you to in some instances, some things you just got to check, that you as a lady find some of those things inappropriate. Now, not giving men a pass, but you'd be surprised how many times men have done that so much in the past with previous women, and they'll make those type of comments. They don't even realize that it's inappropriate because a woman has never called them out on that, or has never checked them on that. All right, hold on, let me get this line. Hello, caller, can you hear me?
Yeah, I decided to call in. It's Lady Ray.
Well, hello, how are you doing?
I'm well. I thought I'd give more context.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you remember. I called in a couple of weeks ago. I had just gotten off of a date, and he made a few comments. One of them being, "How important is sex to you?" That was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Prior to that, off the top of my head, I can't remember what it was, but it was like similar things to that, and mentioning like, he said, how soon do you kiss a guy? He mentioned like when, if he wanted to cook me something, how would he give it to me if I don't want, visitors and stuff. So he obviously like testing the waters and just trying to see, and it's just extra offensive when I feel like I've done everything in my power to not exude that energy, but it's still being pushed to me. And I know you mentioned like, okay, guys are very sexual beings who's going to try regardless.
Yes.
But my initial question is just, if I'm sitting there at dinner, trying to just be, my feminine self, very soft, and I'm being tested multiple times, how do I just remain calm, and like, should I have ended the date at that point and left, or what was protocol? Because I did mention that I was going to call my Uber, but I ended up like letting him purchase the Uber, and he dropped me in front of my building. But like, should I have just left? That's my question, I guess.
Well, let me just answer the first part of the question first. I love how you got your standards in order, and you have standards in place, and you refuse to lower your standards. Now, if you're out with the guy, obviously, I'm guessing that you are attracted to him, or he may possess some things, some qualities that you are attracted to. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But despite of those things, he's doing things that cross a line that that compromise your standards, and you refuse to lower your standards. And I applaud you on that, because that's very important, to stand your ground on your standards, because either A, he's going to check out, or B, he's going to raise himself up to meet you at your standards. So I'm glad that you checked him on that, and you let him know that that's inappropriate, and you were willing to end the date earlier, just to send a message that you got the wrong one or you're dealing with the wrong one. So I applaud you on that.
Thank you.
I wouldn't say that there's a correct time that you should have ended the date, but all I'm saying is I'm just glad that you did end it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, at that point, like, I had already ate, and like, he already paid for the check, so I mean, it was obviously an opportune time, but let's just say that it was like in the middle, I'm still eating and I feel like I'm at my last straw, I guess, or it's like the third time he's said something. I mean, is it ever appropriate within my standards, and I'm following my standards, like to just get up and dismiss myself from a date?
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Because everybody has that. I don't know the correct term. A conscience, I guess. See,
Right.
everybody has a conscience, and everybody has a limit, and everybody has a breaking point. And see, my breaking point could be different from yours, but you know when your breaking point is there. You know when you're at the tip of that breaking point where I'm about to walk out of here. I'm about to curse somebody out. I'm about to go off on somebody. You know, basically when you've had enough and your tolerance level is up to here.
Yeah.
So
I felt myself about to like come out of character.
Exactly. So whenever you feel that your tolerance level is full, then I applaud you to exercise, your right to get up and leave and do what you feel is necessary, because once again, you already articulated that, he did that several times and you checked him on it. And so if he continued to make those type of comments after you brought it to his attention that you found some of those things maybe offensive or inappropriate, to me, that's just blatant disrespect. And, again, once you
I agree. I felt like he just kept picking. And then at that moment, he was like apologetic. And he was like, when have I mentioned sex before? And I had like a Rolodex of instances, and we had only been there for like an hour.
Yeah.
And, he had mentioned it in some capacity 3 times at that point. And honestly, earlier in the day, I'm not sure if you remember, I did meet him for coffee, at Starbucks. And I just felt like it was a shift that happened. It was kind of like the differences in religion. And I felt like at that point, he kind of switch from, okay, this is a potential suitor in a serious fashion to, okay, let me just try to sleep with this girl. Like, let me see how far I can get, because, that was a big, I mean, obviously religion is a big thing, but he kind of wanted to, like, be like, oh, we'll see about it. And I'm like, what is there to see? We've just clearly, we're clearly on 2 different pages. And that's something important to you, you're not going to lower your standards of having whatever woman you want, to be in a religion. So what are we talking about now? So I feel like at that point he kind of was like, okay, well, let me try to put her in a different category. And
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just, he wasn't, I mean, obviously Starbucks really isn't the setting to be talking about sex or anything, but like he wasn't acting like that at Starbucks. I'll say that.
Yeah. But trust me, as men, when men bring up sex, we're serious about it. Even though we may try and bring it up in some subtle ways and ask you some roundabout questions, what those questions are, like you said, we're just throwing out feelers to see how you answer it, and then we'll come back with something more sexual if you give us the leeway, depending upon how you answer that question.
Yeah.
So
I haven't been out with anybody since. Like, I've been busy, but also I've kind of just been like, okay, I need a break, because he was a lot. Like, he would claim to be super Christian, but obviously he would bring up sex often. he also said, I'm an empath. And
Mm.
it was just a lot. I felt like I was sitting across from like someone with severe issues, like a friggin', not a narcissist because people overuse that word, but like somebody like oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on it, but like somebody that's like wants to get in your head in order to use you. Like different things like that I saw within him, and I definitely dodged a bullet, but I'm just trying to like take notes for the next time, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But thank you.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
shout out to Ashley in the chat, aka Gym Girl.
yes.
You're gonna recover from this, girl. We got you.
That's right, Ashley. One quick question. So
Yeah, yeah.
you've kicked him to the curb.
Oh, absolutely.
There you
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
There you go.
I had initially I met him on the bus. He asked for my contact information. I gave him my email address. He emailed me right away. I put him on ice. We emailed. Uh, I don't remember how long it was, but I remember I counted for you. It was like 14 messages
Ah,
between us two. And then I gave him the burner phone number, and we texted on there for a while. He invited me to have coffee, and then the rest. But for the like ending things, I waited and gave it. I think that next morning or so,
mm-hmm.
and then I just let him know that you know I wasn't interested, and he was like, "Oh, is it because of what I said?" And I I don't remember what I did, but I didn't really give an explanation because like you know what you did. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to fish and then you try to weasel your way back in. So
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
point he was like, I want to bring you chocolate. I'll bring it to your building, and I was like, do not come here.
There you
At
go.
that point I was like, I
Yes,
will have security waiting downstairs for you. Do not show up to my building.
yes.
Um,
You, you,
so
you,
yeah, but that's the only thing I wish that I mean, like everything's a learning experience, but I wish I hadn't so close to where I live.
yes, yes,
So that's the only thing.
yes. You know what? I know you probably push for time, but I just want to ask you
No,
just,
I'm fine. What is?
just to repeat something for me one more time because
Yeah.
I get so well. I wouldn't say so much, but I get a lot of resistance when I tell ladies when I advise them on giving a man an email address and they think that he will not email them. I say yes, he
Oh no,
will.
it changed the game. It changed the game. Like I'm so glad that I stumbled upon your channel, and I did snicker at it at first, like
Yeah,
email, what's
yeah,
up? But it absolutely makes sense.
yeah,
It's a great vetting process,
yes,
and I dabble in online dating, and then I meet men out, and I've done it both ways, like the email address thing, and I've had both ways, like men email me, and I've also had rejections, not rejections, but like I've weeded them out
exactly,
by the email
exactly.
address as well. So
Not,
I don't want anybody that's not willing to just email me. That's crazy.
yeah. Now, you indicated that the guy emailed you like 14 times,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's what I always try and emphasize to the ladies. Yes, he will email you. Yes, he will.
yeah.
He
If he has a
will. I
smartphone,
mean,
it's not that big of a deal. Like everybody has an email app, so
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like I said, some are so resistant because they think it's old fashioned or outdated, or somebody's going to laugh
hmm
at them. But he will email you, and that's an excellent way to vet. And I like that you
hmm
employ the burner phone.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. AK is just a text app or whatever it is.
exactly. Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah, the it's actually Google Voice. That's what I've been using.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How long did you
Um,
put him on ice when he emailed you?
Probably like a good 36 hours, I would say.
That's
Yeah,
that's
and
what I
the
keep.
funny part is when we were on the bus, he emailed me like right there in front of me. So he saw that I got it, but I was like, nah.
Yeah, yeah. Ladies, listen. You gotta and start employing these tactics. Put him on ice. You stop being so readily available to these men in the initial
Yeah,
stages. He has not earned that yet. You got to put him on ice. See, when you put him on ice, that keeps him in compete mode. That keeps him wondering about your whereabouts, and that keeps him. You gotta put him in a mental prison that lets him know, hey, maybe I hadn't heard from her because another man is on the trail.
right.
See, that
Yeah,
makes us compete harder when we don't hear from you. Because we like, well, she's pretty, she's fine. If I'm attracted to her, other dudes are attracted to her as well. I better step my game up because I hadn't heard from her. She's probably dealing with other men. I want her, so I'm going to step my game up, let her know I'm in it to win it. I want to compete for her. And
and
ladies,
then the guys on the
it's those small things. I promise you, it's the small things. If you watch my video, I talked about Homer. That just see, all we need is that. All we need is that scent. That's all we need, the scent. And you give us those
yeah.
real small indicators that you're interested, but not over the top. We're going to pursue you, and we're going to remain in compete mode, and you're going to keep your female leverage.
Yeah, I've been putting the guys on the dating apps on ice. I will say it is a little difficult to keep up with because obviously, like on dating apps, there's an abundance.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I like have a schedule. I try to do it like once or twice a day, and I have like my alarm, and I'll just answer, the ones that it's like they're due for a response.
Exactly.
But I still keep it pretty minimal for now, like as far as like my conversation and
That's right.
and then when I go back, it's like they have repeat messages, to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's it.
I did have a question. Another guy that I was emailing. So that guy I met in person. This guy I met on a dating app, and I gave him my email. We emailed for a bit. I can't remember like for how long, but I think it was. I can't remember. But and then I gave him the burner phone. Initially, he had asked for a date way back when we were on the dating app. And then I, let him know, like, I prefer to just wait and build more rapport, if that's okay. And so he said, yeah, and we continued to talk. And then when he asked me for my contact information, I gave him an email address. So my question is, we've been texting on the burner phone now for quite some time. I was telling the girls in the chat, like, I completely forgot about him because I've been, like, putting him on ice and then, but I wouldn't mind going on a date with him just to like rule it out finally. But he hasn't mentioned it at all. So should I bring it up in some capacity or just be like, okay, I'm done with you? Because he's not like, I'm not really feeling the hots for him or anything. Like it's just somebody that's in my phone. So I could do without a date, but I'm just wondering, should I, pursue it?
Yeah. So you're saying that you in the initial stages, you two were corresponding through email. He asked for your phone number. You gave him the burner phone, and then you've been texting with him on the burner phone.
Yeah.
But he's never indicated that he wanted to take you out on a date or anything.
He did on the app, on the dating app. He did, and then he hasn't mentioned it since I rejected it.
Oh, you rejected it then.
Yeah.
Okay, so how often are you two communicating right now on the burner phone?
Not often, because like I said, I forget to respond to him. But today he texted me twice, and I responded. So not very often.
Yeah. Now this is just me, and from a male perspective, I wouldn't advise you to offer to go out on a date with him. If he texted you twice today, trust me, you're on his mind. So
Right.
I would let him extend the invitation. And if you feel that, so far he's been respectful and he's been courteous to the standards that you've had in place,
Yeah, but it's been weeks since the first like ask of it. So at this point, I'm kind of like either ask again or get off my phone. Hate
well,
to be mean like that, but
yeah, but okay,
I don't want to text buddy. You know.
yeah, but at least allow him to extend the invitation for the date, because I think
Yeah, of course.
I think right now you're in a perfect position, because see it's basically going to come down to two things: either he wants to pursue you or he does not want to pursue you.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he does not want to pursue you, that's fine. But if he does want to
Right.
pursue you and a man wants to pursue you, he's going to bring that to your attention. So
Yeah.
yeah. So my advice would be is to, again, let him bring up the date, and then if you decide to do it, then you pick the location and the time and
Mm-hmm.
where the date is going to take place at. If you feel that it could be beneficial just to see where the guy's coming from. If you feel that you're on that level with him.
Yeah. It's been like 3 weeks of texting, so I'm just kind of like over it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know if I have that much capacity to wait for him to initiate. So I guess I might just go ahead and end it then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
He hasn't initiated it in 3 weeks.
I mean, you're saying 3 weeks, but that's to me.
3 weeks of texting. That doesn't include the email and the dating app conversation.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
So 3 weeks since he's gotten the burner phone number.
Mm-hmm. So what has he been texting? I mean, just good morning, beautiful.
Bunch of nonsense.
You see a bunch of
Bunch
nonsense.
of nonsense. A bunch of what are you doing? How was your day? How are you doing? Blah blah blah. Boring stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was like sending random pictures of his haircut and stuff like that, and I felt like those were kind of fishing for me to send a picture. Like, why are you sending me random pictures of yourself? Like, you want me to send or reciprocate?
Don't do that.
Yeah, no way.
Mm-mm.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think it's pretty much a wrap on that then, because yeah, it's not really like I guess the effort has kind of dropped.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. Yeah. But yeah, you've answered my question without it.
Okay. All
But,
right,
yeah.
lady.
Oh, so here we go. So, okay, if I'm ending that, what should the text be?
What do you mean?
If I no longer wish to text him, don't want to meet with him, kind of ending this text buddy situation.
Yeah.
What does that text look like? Like,
Well,
no. I mean, I would typically say, I just want to let you know I'm not really interested. Wish you the best.
mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I'm concerned with that, even though you're being straight up and you're being honest with them,
Yeah.
There are some men out there that can't handle rejection.
Right.
And there are some men that, if you send that text message, they may interpret it the wrong way, and some may see it and say, you know what, I'm just going to try and pursue you harder. So.
Oh, so that's what the block is for.
Exactly. Yeah, because you already have a burner phone, and
right.
Yeah. That's what See, men, a lot of times we don't like rejection, but at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
We have to accept it and respect it. I just think if you don't want to deal with him anymore, just stop texting him or conversating with him.
Ghost him. Oh my God.
Well, again, it's 50-50 when it comes to men on how they take, rejection.
Yeah,
I
up in
think
the air.
I think back in the old days, men were better suited to accept rejection. It seems like in today's world, so many you deal with so
Right.
many men who are sensitive.
Bruised egos. Yeah.
Exactly, bruised egos, and they like to lash back, and uh, I just don't want to. Even though he could be the type of guy who can just take it and say, "Oh well, life goes on." But there's so many
Mhm.
men who can't just take it and say, "Oh well, life moves on," and they turn childish and try and play silly games and come back with text messages with curse words and profanity and. But
Yeah.
you use the term ghosting. I mean, but I think to me, in today's society, you send that text saying that you know, you don't feel that the relationship is going anywhere. In today's society, it's just too many sensitive men out there that can't handle
Yeah.
that type of that type of news. But
Yeah. I don't like to do things that I wouldn't want done to myself. And having been on the
oh,
other
okay,
end of that, it doesn't feel good. And I guess I'm just more of a person that, regardless if it doesn't align with what I believe, like if I don't agree that the relationship isn't going anywhere, I would rather someone tell me straight up.
I
So,
got you.
I think that as long as it's respectful, I would rather just know the truth than to be ghosted and never hear from the person again. And it's kind of like you don't get to close that chapter
Yeah, yeah.
um, mutually.
Well, if you feel that that's the best policy, but like I said, there's some men who can't accept that L, and
Yeah,
some men will just pursue you harder.
yeah, but he can't, like you said, like it's the burner phone, and we've never met before. He doesn't know where I live, so
Yeah,
I feel way more comfortable doing that than I would if I had met someone. He knows where I live, blah blah blah. Like, so I'm pretty comfortable with doing that. So I'll do that and then immediately block the
there you
number.
go. There you go.
So
Yeah,
yeah, no harm, no foul. But
that's it.
thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you, Lady Ray. I really appreciate you. You're online with us every Monday and Thursday. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
I love talking to you guys. You guys are awesome.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a good night.
Bye. You
All
too.
right, bye. All right, that was a great call from Lady Ray. Someone tried to call in. I want to say it was a 678 area code. If you want to try and call back, the phone line is empty. I'll go ahead and take your call. Let's see. T Diamond 00 said, "Why are men so boring and bad at conversation?" Uh, I think in today's world, T Diamond, you know, you got so many men uh, who have been brought up in this era of texting. And see, with texting does not challenge you to come up with stimulating conversation. Because texting is just what texting. Uh, back in my day, guys, we used to brag upon who had the best conversation for women, and that was a badge of honor. Man, you don't have any conversation. You don't have any. A lot of times we called it rap. Now that was before rap music, but the term rap meant that you had verbiage or you had verbal skills to communicate to a woman in a stimulating way that drew her in more intimately. But in today's world, where you have text, so many men are used to text. In today's world, it doesn't stimulate the mind to come up with creative ways to talk and to conversate and things of that nature. So that's what I think is going on today when you talk about men who have boring conversations. Once you actually sit down and you have a heart to heart or face to face or talk to them verbally over the phone. All right. Let's see. Good Fruit Tree says, how long do you remain on a dating site looking without looking like you live there? That's an excellent question, Good Fruit Tree. Dating, I mean, that online dating, again, is just a different animal. It's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you create an online profile, let's say you stay on it a month, and that month that you stayed on it, you know, the majority of the men that you met were losers and guys who were playing games. Now, the right man for you, the man of your dreams, if you ended it within that 1 month, let's say you ended it July 31st, the man of your dreams could have started his subscription August the 1st, and you missed him by 1 day. So that's the thing with online dating is so hit or miss. It's depending upon timing. But how do you know when the timing is right? Because you may be on an online dating site from 90 days, from January 1st to March 31st. And like I said earlier, the man of your dreams, he gets on the same dating site after your subscription has ended. So your subscription ended March 31st. He gets on April the 10th. So you missed each other by what? Roughly 10 days. So that's a very, very, very difficult question because it's based upon timing. The man of your dreams could be right there in the city that you're in, Miss Good Fruit Tree. But again, timing. You may be at Whole Foods at 12 noon and you leave at 12:30 p.m. and the man of your dreams walks into Whole Food at 12:45 and you two missed each other by 15 minutes and you're in the same city. So that timing thing, man, my goodness, it's I mean, if we all just had that crystal ball where we can just align our times up with people who we are, interested in, or people we feel we have a connection with, man, that's a whole different ball game if we were able to do that. But, you go on a dating site for a year, you didn't meet anybody within the year, you cancel. Some men that were tailor-made for you, they subscribed to the same dating site a month after your subscription ended. You never met them. So, like with anything, especially when we talk about dating, it's a what? Gamble. It's a gamble, it's a gamble, it's a gamble. Now, are you willing to make that gamble and roll the dice? All right, somebody said, pen pal, friend zone me. Some men in jail be on the, you damn right about that. Good Fruit Tree said, some men in jail be on the dating sites. I was in shock when a guy told me he was behind bars. Well, I tell you what, Good Fruit Tree, at least he was honest with you, because a lot of them would not be honest. A lot of them will not be honest with you. All right. Why men so born at bad conversations? I just talked about that one. Hot times. All right. TL says my cousin and her husband lived around the same. Hold on. Good evening, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, how are you doing? What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Danielle, and I am calling from Midland, Michigan.
Midland, Michigan. Danielle. Well, thank you for calling, Danielle. How's things going up there in Midland, Michigan?
Well, things are going great, going pretty good. I
I'm kind of new to your channel,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
so I love the advice and the information that you give. So this might not be quite on the subject that you have tonight because I just kind of caught you,
Mm-hmm.
but I just wanted to pick your brain and see what your advice would be concerning my situation. So I am 48
Mm-hmm.
and I am a widow.
Mm.
And I was married. We were married for 10 years, but we were together for 16.
Mm-hmm.
Two boys, and now they're both graduated and everything. And so, what happened? I was able to reconnect with a guy that I dated out of high school.
Mm.
Um, so, unbeknownst to me, my sister-in-law was telling me that he had kind of been inquiring about me for over 20 something years.
Yes.
And so I broke up with him because I guess, back then for my age, I was a little bit more mature in knowing what I wanted. And so at that time, I felt like I wasn't really being made a priority. And not that I had to take over all of his life, but I feel like if you're in a relationship, you need to, you know, get some time to have a relationship and cultivate a relationship.
True.
Um, you know, and so we reconnected and we ended up dating again and we became exclusive. And so his family loves me, his mother loves me, brother, everybody loves me. And, and I'm thinking like, okay, we have history.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's almost 47. So it's like he's never been married, doesn't have any kids.
Mm.
But over the years, he's been asking about me, and he knew I was married, so he kept his distance, which was the right thing to do.
True.
Yeah. So he is a professor, a
Okay.
college professor, and he was a caregiver for his father for like 10 years. So he had moved back home.
Wow.
And so his mother is actually, they're up in age, so she's 84 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And she always talks about how he loves me and how she knows he loves me and he cares about me. And when she can tell, like he doesn't talk with her about a lot of things concerning us, but she can tell when the mood changes, when she knows when we're not getting along or when he's in the doghouse or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So he started out great, right? Like, found me, we talked, we went on some dates, became exclusive. And so, I was picking his brain and I was like, well, what are you looking for? What are you thinking? Because I'm looking, I want to be married. I'm a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. And I just feel like that's really stupid to be 48, 50 years old telling somebody you their girlfriend. Like, we're not in high school anymore. So, he just threw this number out, and I don't know if it's because he never thought about it or, he was like 5 years. And I'm like, 5? I told him it won't even be 3. I feel like that it doesn't take that long if a man knows. I feel like a man knows.
Yeah.
Um,
Amen to that.
so I was trying to be patient with him because I could kind of tell he never really had a relationship that lasts past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I understand now why. It's almost like he doesn't have that balance. Like, it's all about work. He wants to just have work. And then I know guys feel like they're not like a real man if they're not where they are financially in their head sometimes, even though for women it doesn't really matter sometimes if
Yes.
you really love that person,
Yes.
But I guess in a man's eye, he still has to do what he has to do to feel like he can provide and whatnot.
That's true.
Okay, so my dilemma was that he got comfortable. I feel like, like he'll pick up or call or whatever. When I call, he'll pick up right away. He answers my call. If I need something, he'll drop it. He'll do it. But I felt like also he held his mother to a higher standard, which is fine. Honor your mother. I get that. But I feel like he even though he won't admit it, I feel like he still feels like it's being disrespectful if he puts a boundary there with his mom. But then she'll tell me, well, I'm not in the way, and da 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 da, and that's between you guys, and but I know he loves you, and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, time is ticking, and he ain't making no move, so it kind of just like plateaued, and I feel like he got comfortable. So I ended up kind of breaking it off with him because we got to the 3-year mark and nothing progressed. And we're still like communicating, and I still, because I'm really close to his mom.
Yes.
And so, like I went and saw her the other day while he was at a training. But I feel like if you love somebody, you should want to progress it. And I don't know if he has some reservations that he's just not telling me, because when I ask him, he's like, nothing's wrong. And then I'll ask him, because I know some ladies don't ask guys, is there anything that I'm doing that you don't like, or is there anything that you would like that I'm not doing, or because we always check them about when they're out of line. And so I leave that door open for, because nobody's perfect.
True.
But every time it's just like nothing's wrong. He's like, Dan, don't create a problem if there's no problem. So he just happy. And I'm like, but I'm not really happy, because he wasn't doing the things that you would do in a relationship, like spend time together and grow and cultivate and things of that nature. But I was always coming to him.
Yeah.
And he started out coming to me. And then he just kind of fell back and just was in that receiving type thing, which they say is kind of like a feminine energy.
Yes.
And and I think he may even be like a dismissive avoidant, because he's okay being alone. Like, he can go for weeks. He went actually like 6 months. I counted the days. And if I called, he'd pick up. And then, and I just told him, I said, you know what? I fired you. And he didn't even know it.
Wait, you're saying you two went 6 months without hearing from each other?
Yes. Unless I reached out. And at that time, he had a death in the family and things of that nature. And I get that. But my thing is, if you're in a relationship, that's why you have a partner. You just don't go inside yourself and try to process things and not communicate,
Yeah.
And so it's really confusing to me. I really do feel deep in my heart that he wasn't seeing anybody and he wasn't messing around. He was always a gentleman. Like, he would come help me with my boys. He would drop, if they needed something, he would do it. I think he just is really kind of dedicated to his mother and being a caretaker, and he doesn't know how to let that go. I think he would feel guilty with doing that, but I don't feel like like I should have to twist your arm to do something. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you want to do it, you're going to do it. But she'll just say, like, he'll sit there and he'll be suffering in silence. And it's like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. What do you think? Because I broke up with him because I'm like, you can't be in the way. Oh, that's nothing he said. He never wanted to break up. He was like, we'll work it out. We'll work it out. It was like he was always eager to fix it, but he never fixed it. And so I don't know if he was just glad to have his high school girlfriend back again and just basking in the glory. But we're not in high school anymore.
Amen.
And so, he was supposed to have been looking for a place, but that never happened. And so it's like he would make promises but wouldn't follow through.
Yeah.
And like when I go visit his mom, if he has to come home after work, then he just lights up, he's the big smile on his face and everything. And I can tell, I don't know if he just wants to get married, but really wants to stick to that 5 year. But I'm like, that's not fair to me if you're not making no moves. And he said, I love you and I don't want to lose you and I don't want anybody else to have you. And so for me, that's kind of selfish.
It is. It is.
And so it's like, I I know I'm a good woman. You know, I've been married before. I am a wife. I know what it takes to be a wife, and I loved being a wife. And so I'm not satisfied with just being a girlfriend, and you're not communicating, and you're not doing anything to cultivate.
Yes.
So I think that for now we can just be friends, and I'm trying really hard. But you know, I think as a woman, it's hard because we're givers and we're nurturers, and so I'm trying really hard to just kind of sit back and see what he's going to do, but yet be cordial and friendly, because I'm not going to be nasty to him, because he really did. You know, when he was good, he was good. It was just that communicating and progressing the relationship. So I feel like he really got comfortable, and he felt like I wasn't going to go anywhere. And that's another reason why I had to do it, because I had to follow through with what I told him I was going to do. Because they also say, man, watch what you do and what you say. And then that's how they take you seriously or not.
That's right.
And so it really hurt me to do it. You know, it made me sad. But I'm like, I got to do what I said I was going to do, because he won't take me seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like right now he still has an opportunity, but now because we're not exclusive, should the opportunity arise, I will date other people, and may the best man win.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
What do you think? I don't know, because this is like crazy.
Well, now what's your name again?
Danielle.
All right, Danielle from Michigan. Let me just say this. This is just my estimation.
Mm-hmm.
You created an environment that was too easy for him.
Yeah.
That again, I'm just going by the information that you have presented to me. See, if you listen to my shows, one of the things that I always tell ladies is that you cannot go by what a man say or what comes out of our mouth, because we will tell you things that we think that you want to hear based upon the way that you frame the question. So my thing is, you made it too easy. See, you said you think you made it too comfortable. I think you made it too easy, because see, once we feel like we're on easy street, and once we feel that we have you, the term I like to use is in our hip pocket. In other words, you're doing all the things that we want you to do. See, once we feel that way, we'll start to neglect you. We'll neglect your feelings. The concerns that you have, they'll go in one ear and out the other, because our needs are being met. In other words, we can turn very, very, very selfish, in which this thing is all about me, the man, and what we deem as important. So if he deemed his mother more important than you, he's going to spend more time with his mother. Now, you're dealing with a peculiar individual when you're dealing with a college professor, because I've dated several female college professors, and I'm at the point right now, I don't think I'll date another one, because the majority of them are married to their job. They won't tell you that.
Right.
They won't tell you that, but the majority of them are married to their job, because there's so much pressure. You're talking about trying to get promotion, your tenure and promotion. You're talking about publications, and you're talking about, all the research that's involved. Even if you gave him a second chance, dating a college professor with all the research and all the responsibilities that come with dating a college professor, you still would probably be second fiddle to that. And combine the fact that, his mother is still living. See, once a man shows you that I am a grown man, but mama is still mama, that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
because even though we grow up and we mature and we become a man, there's a point in time, especially when we meet Miss Right, where we just got to tell mama, you did your job. Mama, you're always going to be an influence in my life or whatnot. I'll never forsake you, mama. But right now, this lady who I'm with, She is priority number one. She is my number one girl. Doesn't mean that you kick mama to the side and you put mama in the old folks home, but you tell mama, this is how it is. Because mama always gonna look at that son as if he's a boy, he's 5 years old, 8 years old. He's always gonna be mama's little boy in her eyes. So he has to check that, tell his mama, this is how it is. I got a new lady in my life. She's my number one priority to make sure that all her needs are met and that we are vibing and we are on the same page. So when he didn't do that, like I said, it sounds like you didn't check that. Because if you don't check that, those type of men are just going to sit back and they're going to say, well, wait a minute. Danielle is cool with it. She's not saying anything about it. She must not mind that, I'm spending more time with my mother than with her. So it sounds like you created an environment whereas he just, sat back, kicked his feet up and just said, well, this is the way it is because Danielle is not putting up any resistance. Now, I could be wrong. Am I wrong with that assertion?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like I say, I think I do feel like he does love me. Mm-hmm. But I on that same tip, I feel like buckle up, please. I feel like what you said with him doing it, setting boundaries for his mother, he will never admit it. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like he would feel like that's being disrespectful because he still calls her ma'am. And I know that's old school, yes, ma'am, that's just old school proper respect, and so, yeah. I mean, but like I say, when I'm there, he takes care of me, he blankets, food, whatever I need, but I feel like go ahead.
But the question I want to ask you is, do you think that you created an environment that was just too easy to make to get him that comfortable?
Yeah, probably. I did. Probably, yes. Yeah. I did. And you know why? Because I guess trying to just be who I am.
Yes.
I'm a loving, caring person,
yes. Yes.
And so, yeah, I mean, but again, I guess that's a lesson to learn, huh? Well, and so...
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I it took something for me to separate and pull back. Mm-hmm. But I knew that was something that I had to do because it was not progressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not what I want. I want the next level. And, so that was a tough pill for me to swallow. Like, okay, you don't want to make anybody do that. Because then that means it's not really what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, my thing is, when I have concerns, when I have, things that I want to talk about, he's a good listener. Mm-hmm. And he'll just say, tell me what's on your mind. Like if it's good, bad, or ugly, he want to hear it. And he doesn't retaliate with negativity and he doesn't overreact or act out. He listens, and then he'll apologize and he will acknowledge the things that I'm talking about. Yeah. And then there'll be that instance where he'll make take actions to do better, but then he's a creature of habit. He'll fall right back into that habit again. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's what needs to change, but he has to be the one to want to change that.
That's true.
Right, and so that's what. That's where I'm at. So right now, it's like I said, I just want to get your advice, but
yeah,
well, if he don't hurry up, he gonna miss the boat.
Yeah. Well, Danielle, I tell you this, the other third red flag that I saw is when you talked about he indicated that he'll be ready to get married within 5 years. That's now that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, it don't take that long.
No, indeed. No. Listen, when we have our mind made up, you would have to talk us out of, you would have to deny us the right to marry you because we'll throw out a number within 30 days sometimes if we feel that strongly. Sometimes it could be 60 days. Sometimes it could be 3 months. But my point is we'll just have that feeling that, nope, this is the one for me. And when that feeling hits us, sometimes a man could propose to you within 45 days.
Right, and that's what I had a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, okay, because it's been instances where women have been with men for years, decades, and then they'll mess around, won't marry them, and go straight off and marry somebody else in less than 6 months.
That's right.
And I'm like, that's what we not doing.
That's right. Yeah, that's a great point. So I'm glad you put the you pulled the you ended that because again 5 years, no, it doesn't take a man 5 years.
It don't take that long.
Especially if he was sending messages that he was inquiring about you and your status and how you were doing or whatnot. See, usually men, when we have you on the radar, even though you may be in a relationship and when we find out that relationship is over, man, we swoop in real quick. And it doesn't take a year. It doesn't take 5 years.
Right.
So that's that. As soon as you said that sounded like a man who was comfortable within the things that you were providing for him, the wifely things you were providing for him, but you weren't married. So he, to me, in my estimation, he's looking at it like, well, why should I get married if Danielle is doing all the wifely things already? Yeah. So that's just the way I see it, because men, we will take all day. And a lot of times in return, we'll give very, very, very small amounts in return in comparison to what you give out. Because we'll get comfortable. And then when we get comfortable with you, with a lady, that could be a horrible situation because you're putting out so much, but you're not getting hardly anything in return from us. Spiritually, emotionally, we're not supporting you. We're not backing you. We're not in your corner the way we're supposed to be. We're not supporting your dreams and your visions and things of that nature. It's like, no, you support our dreams and visions. You back us. You give us our support, things of that nature. So we'll take it, but but I just think that you just created an environment that was just too easy, and he just got so comfortable. He just said, man, this is a beautiful life I'm living.
Right.
Yeah. So he's got you, he's got his mother, he's got his job, he's got his career.
He's happy.
He's happy. Exactly. Yeah. So it sounds like you're willing to give him another chance if he's ready to take it seriously. Am I right about that?
Yeah, because he is a good guy. But again, like I said, I'm not just going to sit here either and just wait. Like, if somebody else, comes and shows more interest, and, hey, I got to make moves too.
Yeah.
So,
See,
and then what about people that be like, oh, after you move on, now they pining after you and stuff. That's just a foolishness to me.
Yeah. See, Danielle, let me tell you something about men. See, sometimes you got to make things very, 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 very uncomfortable for us. Now, you sound like a lady that has a lot of character, and you got a lot of morals and values, things of that nature, and you're not willing to compromise some of those things. But sometimes you got to make a man feel what you're saying with actions. Because I promise you, see, men, as I tell ladies week after week after week, see, men, we don't understand talk. We understand actions. Yeah. See.
Well, and that's why I broke it off when I did, because I'm like, I didn't want to, but I'm like, I told him it wasn't going to be 3. Mm-hmm. I have to do that.
Yeah. 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 Let me ask you this, because I'm a firm believer, especially in the situation, the scenario that you're putting out. I'm a firm believer that in not all cases, but it's something about this case. That guy you're dealing with, he just may need just a wake up call, a jolt, a shot in the arm. It's almost like when a person is having a cardiac arrest and they call the ambulance out and they hit him with that
Right.
defibrillator to hit him.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
he needs one of them. Let me just give
But
you.
why? Why do guys need
But
that?
listen to me. Listen to me.
Okay.
Now, I'm just gonna give you some advice, cause some men need that shock that's gonna get them off that deathbed and get them back to that heart beating the way it's supposed to beat again. I can't tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I would do if I were in your position and you articulated that this is a man who has shown you that he is a good man or whatnot. He just hasn't put the proper effort into the relationship that you feel that he should put. See, if I were you, you know what I would do? You know what I would do? Okay.
What?
I would block his phone number. Let me tell you why. I would block his phone number, and like I said, it's just like you putting that defibrillator on his heart. Block his phone number, block all contact from him, because sometimes as men, sometimes we just need that punch. Straight to the face that wakes us up. Because a lot of times we think that you always gonna be there. A lot of times we think that you ain't never going nowhere. You always gonna be there because your track record has shown that you always gonna be there. So if I were you, I would block his number, because when when he call you, and then we know when that number's been blocked, because immediately it's going to say, whatever. The caller you have reached is not accepting whatever. It's not accepting numbers from this phone or whatnot. He'll know when you blocked him. See, that's going to wake his ass up to let him know, okay, this woman has canceled me. She's probably seeing another guy or whatnot. But see, sometimes we need that wake-up call. In other words, if you pick that, okay, if he just calls you out the blue and you answer that phone, you know what pops into our mind? I still got it. I'm still Big Daddy. I'm still Big Papa. See, sometimes you got to beat us to the punch and say, nope, you could be Big Daddy. You could be Big Papa, but right now, I don't even want to hear from you. And a lot of times that'll wake him up out of that BS that he's been putting out, and help him get his stuff in order to say, damn, a woman that was so good to me is about to get away. I better do something. Now, I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying that's going to make him propose to you. I'm not saying that's going to make him want to marry you, but that's going to wake his ass up and get him out of that comfort zone. I promise you that. He's gonna. But again, you may say, well, that's too extreme. But I promise you, if I were you, I'm gonna put that defibrillator on him. I'm gonna block him, and he'll get the message. You either, as the old folks say, you either got to do number 2 or you got to get off the pot.
Right.
You either gonna pursue me and put me priority number 1 in your life, or you gonna lose me. And by severing all contact with him, you sending out a clear message. The ball is in your court because I moved on. So you better bust a move, because all his actions so far has been showing me that he hasn't been in compete mode for you. He hasn't been working for you. He has not been in pursuit mode for you. So you got to put him in pursuit mode. Put him in compete mode. Let him know, okay, you keep working on that job, all you're going to do is get some retirement benefits, you're going to die alone. You keep.
Yes, that's why I called his mother. I called her. I said, he going to mess around. He going to be alone.
He just going to get a retirement check from that university and be by himself.
Yes.
But listen to me, Danielle. As I said earlier, men, we don't understand talk. We understand actions. You got to put some actions to work. Don't tell him he's going to miss out on a good woman. Show him he's going to miss out on a good woman. That's how you do that.
Yeah.
So even if you feel that blocking him, you may feel that's too extreme. That's just what I would do if I was in your case, because I'm going to hit you, like I said, with that defibrillator to wake your behind up and get your heart pumping and get you back on track to pursuing me. Because we get the message when we realize we've been blocked. That means we got to do something. Or we've missed out on one of the best women that we've ever had in our life. And trust me, nothing gets a man's attention. Well, very few things gets a man's attention more than knowing that we just got blocked. Ooh. You just hit us with a roundhouse right, and and man, we felt that hit. We felt that lick. I promise you that. So sometimes, Danielle, like I said, talk don't work with us all the time. Time for some action, and it's time for some drastic action. Block his behind. I guarantee you, he'll wake up. Or if he doesn't wake up, then that's a sure indicator that he don't care.
Exactly. Even though they say he does. But like I say, he went 6 months.
Yeah.
In his own mind and just in his own environment.
Yeah.
Just dealing with whatever.
Yeah.
And like sometimes his mom be like, he just be upstairs and, in his room and he don't even, he just be working and too much talk to her about nothing, so he keeps everything inside. And I guess that might be a male trait too. Like, men aren't taught to be expressive with their emotions and things like that because it makes them feel like they're weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like you gotta learn how to deal with it and grow. And it's okay to express yourself. Like we all have emotions. The Lord gave us all emotions.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
I thought about that too. I was like, if I do this, like not because he's that type of, like I said, he went a whole 6 months of silence. So it might not even phase him. It might take him longer. I don't know, but by then I'll probably be gone. Because ain't nobody waiting for that. That's foolishness.
Danielle,
yes.
you know why it took him 6 months?
Why?
Because you allowed it.
Yeah.
Men, we are only going to do what you allow. But it sounds like, from your conversation and your tones that you're still interested in him, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just gotta stop talking now. Talk means nothing to men, especially when we feel like we're in the driver's seat. It's time for actions.
Yeah.
Because talk does not work for us when we feel like we're driving the ship.
Right.
Talk doesn't work. We're like, you've been talking the last 4 years, you hadn't done anything. So now it's time for some action. Trust me, the action will get him into a mode where he realizes he got to do something. I would block him. He'll get up. Trust me. I know.
Okay.
That's tell the truth. I want be honest with me. In your estimation,
that's tough. That's tough.
Look, in your estimation, that sounds too harsh, doesn't it?
It's tough for me because I think I've been told by my girlfriends, whatever, and I know that I am a nice person. I know that. But my thought process behind it is I'm also giving you enough rope to hang yourself so when I'm gone, it ain't no coming back.
Danielle.
Because everybody has
listen to me. Listen to me. All right. You said you talked to your girlfriends, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not men. They're not men. You need to hear this from a man. When we are comfortable, we don't get out of that comfort zone. We don't. Unless drastic action has been implemented. That's the only thing. That's okay. Think about in your younger days or whatnot. You were in a relationship with a guy and you ended the relationship, and he tried harder and harder and harder and harder and harder and harder to get you back. See, that's what I mean by drastic measures. No more talking. Because when we're in our comfort zone, we look at you and say, you've been with us, you've been with us 3 years, you've been with us 5 years, you've been with us, 2 years. You ain't going nowhere. See, I had to learn that the hard way because I'm speaking from experience. So many women I was in relationship with, they were like, boy, if you don't stop hanging with your boys, your friends, and stop playing them dominoes and going to the strip club, if you don't stop that, I'm going to leave you. I was like, girl, you said that 6 months ago. You ain't going nowhere. And then another 6 months, a year and a half go by. I told you, if you don't stop hanging with your boys and neglecting me and leaving me at this house all by myself, I'm going to leave you. Girl, you said that 2 years ago. You still here. But see, you come home to that empty house and you look around and say, wait a minute, a burglar has hit this house. And then reality hits you and you say, no, a burglar didn't hit this house. Deborah did exactly what Deborah said she was going to do. She got her stuff and left and took your stuff too. So that's what I mean by, men, we react to actions. You got to send a message. This will not be tolerated, and not talking.
Yeah.
But keep me updated though. I would love to know how it turns out though. Keep me updated.
I will.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, you have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right. I missed that 678 number one more time since I've been up so late. If you want to call back from that 678 number, I'll make sure I take your call. If not, we may end it. We got 33 in the chat. Thank you so much for people who's staying up with me tonight. I got 10:45 here down here in Louisiana. Anybody want to comment on the advice that I gave Danielle from a male's perspective? Maybe some of you were in a relationship where you were steady talking to the man to try and get him to change. And I'm gonna tell you something, ladies. That talk, 678. Here we go. I gotta make sure I get this one. Hold on. Hello, caller. How are you doing tonight?
Yes, hi. How are you?
Yes. I apologize. I saw your number pop up several times, and I was on the phone with a couple of callers before you, but I really appreciate your patience calling in. What is your name, and where are you calling from?
I'm Ty from Atlanta.
Uh-oh. You calling from the A. Now, everything in Atlanta should be just peachy keen. Everything in Atlanta should be perfect. Atlanta.
Well,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Should be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah. Well, first I just wanted to commend you for using your platform to help women because it's so needed, But I just wanted to speak to a few things that I heard from some of the ladies that called in earlier, and just, how we're conditioned to handle things in a proper sort of way. One lady was asking, how do I send a text to show that I'm not interested? And then I think another lady said, well, should I, leave a guy that makes me feel uncomfortable because he keeps making sexual advances? And in my experience, what my experience has taught me is that, if a person is already showing you somewhat of little regard, then, or overstep your boundaries, then it's fair game after that.
Yeah.
And as far as like the ghosting thing, I think that, I'd like to challenge some of the listeners to understand that, although you might want to treat people how you want to be treated, everyone is not considering you in that sort of way.
Yes.
And I had a sort of shift in my own consciousness when I learned that, like people like child predators will
Yes.
seek employment at like places like schools and amusement parks. And I'm like, whoa. And it was because I don't think in that way. So similarly, I had to understand that for some people that are out here in this dating game, sex for them is a lifestyle.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
you're doing yourself a great disservice by being too nice or too respectable to tell someone, okay, look, the advances have got to stop, you know, please stop that. Or, if you're wasting my time, cut them off or ghost
Yes.
them,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know. But there's this big debate that, I've had people call me childish because I'm quick to cut people off. Like if I feel like, I'm dealing with a guy and there's no consistency or you showing me any little bit, I'm like, done,
Thank you. Yes.
And so, I just really want to put that out there because I understand that, if you're a person that's brought up respectable and you're a decent person, you think, your mind operates in a certain kind of way. But really, out here in the midst, there are a lot of low life. There are a lot of people that really have no regard for you. They really don't care about you. And so they don't deserve the level of respect that you are affording them.
Mm.
And, also you spoke about how your grandmother said that, sometimes we pay a price for the decisions that we make.
Yes.
And sometimes when you don't, it's a slippery slope because you also talked about, these guys who, are, can't take rejection. And I've
Yes.
dealt with that as well.
Yes.
But sometimes, rejection can be protection because the price you pay could be your life.
True.
And I've seen like maybe 4 or 5 stories that came up on my feed just this week of people who have, dealt with people romantically and it cost them their lives.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know all the extent of those circumstances, but I'm just saying, it's serious business out here.
It is.
Dating could be fun and it's great. You get wrapped up in, being with another person, but it's serious out here. You do have to protect yourself as well.
Yes. 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 Wow. That is a lot of gems that you have dropped dropped on us.
Oh, I got gems. Like I said, I'm from Atlanta. I got all the games. Like I know all that. I want to put. One of the things I haven't heard about this on any platforms or anything like that. But there's the girlfriend game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you might actually be in a relationship with a guy. You might have met his friends, coworkers, and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's never you're really like it's just words. Like a person can deal with you, and you can actually and call you a girlfriend and give you. Because at first I was like, okay, well, because one of my boundaries, and it's I'm learning, so I set this boundary that okay, well. I'm only going to deal with a person, on a certain level, if there's commitment. And so he said, okay, well then be my girlfriend. Right.
Yes.
So, but that was the part of the game. I really wasn't, at the end of the day, I really wasn't his girlfriend. On paper, yeah, but there was, it was game.
That's right.
Words. Right. That's all it was at the end of the day. I realized there was no reciprocity, it wasn't an actual relationship, and, there was no quality time, and another game, and this is a crazy one because, like he was the type of person. He wasn't like I couldn't figure out like why won't this guy open up to me? He won't let me in. That's also game.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times they just don't want to let you in because like, I had actually like went all on these forums and went online and I had diagnosed him myself with as you know with avoidant person. Excuse me. I said, you know what? He must have had a traumatic childhood experience, and
Mm-hmm.
so now he's an avoidant personality. No, he just wasn't. He just wanted, you know, what he wanted.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So, but you know, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. It was just on my spirit, and that's why I called. That's why I felt the need to call back several times because you know, like you mentioned earlier in the show, I wasn't one of those people that was brought up with this knowledge, you know, so I had to
Yes.
learn a lot of stuff the hard way.
That's right.
And
That's right.
so if there's anything that I can do to help another person, if there's anything that, you know, someone can gain from my experiences, then by all means,
Yes. Yes. What is your name again?
Ty.
Ty. Uh,
Yeah.
how is the dating scene in Atlanta, Ty?
It's everything you've heard. It's there. I mean, it's not okay. Okay. Sometimes it's what you make. It hasn't been all bad.
Okay.
But the experiences that I have that are bad were bad.
Mm.
Like I dealt with one guy he was a stalker.
Mm.
Um Shoot, I shouldn't have put that out there. But, you know, I hope
Yeah.
nobody hears this.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's you know, yeah, it's probably the same everywhere. But
Gotcha.
I mean
I
here,
got you.
you know, like you said, there's you know, we live in the, you know, like you said, we're in the what do you call it? The swipe era. So it's just like everybody here is dating multiple people.
Wow.
So it's like yeah, it's like really hard to try to find people that are just want like everybody here is into some kind of like polyamory, or I won't say
Wow.
everybody,
Yeah.
but in my experience it's like yeah, everybody has options. So
Yeah. 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 Are you able? Do you feel confident that you have a strong vetting process in place that can protect you from the guys?
well, I'm actually I'm not doing a whole lot of dating now. Like I'm just kind of like putting it on ice. But I felt like I got pretty strong with my dating game. Like I got to the point where it was like okay, like well I don't do the dating apps at all anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And in my experience, a lot of those guys are either married or already in relationships.
Yes.
I don't know if a lot of people know that. But you know, if a guy is texting you for a long time, 2 weeks, if y'all haven't exchanged numbers through the app, don't bother. You know, and if after a certain amount of time, couple weeks or something like that, he's not asking to try to see you, then y'all just gonna be phone buddies. You know, so and then you know, I haven't implemented the email thing because, like I said, I haven't been dating. But I feel like that was a good when I do decide to get back out there, I'm going to use the email. I'm going to use that one.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
But
Wow.
yeah, I mean, just you know, getting to know a person, and then you know, pretty much making sure a person's actions align with what they're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you know, being communicative is very important. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, we're a lot. I think as women, or you know, I don't want to just generalize and say women because I'm pretty sure you have male callers as well. But I think you know, sometimes there are things that we don't want to talk about. There are things that we just don't want to bring up. They're uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
sometimes it's imperative that you just speak on the things. Like if there's something on your heart, bring it up.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
if it's becoming to the point where it's like you don't want to be in a type of relationship where you're just seeing each other every, you know, 3 weeks or whatever, then that needs to be a conversation that needs to be had, and then we need to figure out what we can do about that. And
Yes.
if the person all they give you is excuses, then they're probably full of it. You know.
Yes.
A lot of it is just, a lot of it is pretty, it's pretty,
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty easy. We give people, the benefit of the doubt a lot. But, at the end of the day, a person that's really for you. And then another thing is, we don't like rejection either. So,
Yes.
we feel like, okay, like you mentioned, you said, okay, you said it several times. You said if a guy if he wants to contact you, he's going to send you an email. We're like, oh, well, no, but if he doesn't like you and he won't even send you an email, then that's definitely, then, you've done your work. You've got your work cut out for you, because that's somebody that's obviously, if he's not going to put in the time to send you an email, then he's probably not going to put in the time to, spend time with you or go on dates with you or do all that other stuff.
Yes.
So,
Amen to that.
you know,
Amen to
yeah.
that. Anything else you wanted to add, Ty?
No, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for being persistent, because, like I said, I saw your number pop up several times, and I was like, dog, I hope.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah. But thank you for your call. Thank you for the gems, and thank you for the knowledge that you've instilled and dropped on us tonight. We really appreciate it.
all right. And thank you for having me. Good
All
night.
right. Have a good night. All right. All right. I got almost 11 o'clock my end down here in Louisiana. So I think it's about time to end this tonight. Thank you so many people for the likes and the calls and the chats. Great discussion. We will pick this up on Thursday. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you on Thursday evening, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.